step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune to my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Very good morning, you beautiful souls. Welcome to it. My name is Graham Richards. You are live with Expresso. Thank you so much for tuning in. Our aim today is to inspire, to educate, and empower. Not just because it's Women's Month, obviously building towards Women's Day on this Friday, but because we are inspired to empower you over what should be probably the most important month of the year, an opportunity for us to celebrate and recognize the incredible role that women play in our society. You deserve it. So hopefully you are feeling that you have that platform, not just for this month, but for the entire year round. And we're going to be celebrating that vibe in style this morning. I've been listening to the stylings, the sound check of Marimba Jam, an all-female, incredibly talented marimba outfit. I can see them doing their little shakes in the background. They're incredible. They're going to bring something truly remarkable for you this morning, so stay tuned. In fact, they're going to be part of our Tuesday tunes, and I'll reveal exactly what choices you have this morning. But we've got quite a mixed bag this morning. Being a Tuesday, we're going to get into our health chat, something that is vitally important and something that we can all do with more education and background around the HPV vaccinations, an opportunity for you to find out all the critical facts. Then we're going to be in the kitchen doing an I'm too smooth and creamy to be a cheesy aubergine bake. It's a real thing. It's actually going to be sweet, delicious, and truly remarkable. But of course, we do love a Tuesday because it gives you the chance to be empowered to choose our Tuesday tune. And we've got two really cool songs for you to weigh up this morning. It's going to be quite a difficult choice, and this is obviously for Marimba Jam, and you can find them at Marimba Jam online, to wrap their heads around which one would you like to hear them perform this morning. We've got first from Ed Sheeran, The Shape of You, pretty cool, and then from Fikizolo in the Hamba Nawe, two really good choices. Are you going to keep it local? Are you going to go global? The choice is yours because you get to choose your Tuesday tunes. So now the gents are equally excited about the mixed breakfast basket that we got for you this morning. Morning, gents.
We certainly are. We certainly are very excited about this mixed breakfast basket. Welcome to it. It's Uncle Temzi here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Thanks for choosing to wake up with us on this beautiful Tuesday.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're reporting for duty. Great to be in your company, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. The sound check with the marimba band just now.
Sounds amazing,
man, I need to learn how to play the marimba today.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be my mission.
Yeah.
So over the next 3 hours, I'm going to learn to play at least one thing.
Oh, you learn
and hopefully
fast.
I can do that by the end of the show.
We're happy to put you to the test at the end.
I'm putting myself in the test. It's a fun challenge for this Tuesday morning. But hey, we've got a challenge for you at home. I need to complete the look. So this is what it looks like so far.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm very formal today because you've got a tie on and all.
You want to call it that?
Suiting up.
So you could suit it up by pairing it with the accompanying black jacket, which would give you that bit of a MIB feel.
Yes.
Or you could completely go the other way and go with a biker jacket in a completely different tone, which gives it a new, fresher kind of look. So, you know, if you're going to work, you could do this.
Very formal, very serious, very classic suit. Or you could do this and break it up, but still keep it smart.
Absolutely. So
I never would have imagined a biker jacket being able to work with a look that is seemingly so formal and so sort of, you know, put together. But I can tell that it would work. Both jackets would easily work, but you must let us know on Facebook whether it's the black jacket for Kat or the biker jacket that he must don today on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
And of course,
both really nice.
Just loosen the tie slightly. That also gives the look a lesser stiff appearance. You know what I mean? If you were to loosen up a bit, and that's why I think I went with a single Windsor knot, because that is also far more relaxed than the standard double Windsor knot.
Okay,
but
cool. So
anyway,
while you decide what Kat's gonna wear, let's hopefully help you decide what you need to be wearing today by giving you a bit of a weather update, starting off in Johannesburg, where mainly sunny conditions with a light northwesterly wind are expected. Sky clears up towards the evening as the wind dies down, and humidity remains low as temperatures temperatures fluctuate throughout the day. That's Johannesburg for you. Durban, South Africa's playground. Partly sunny conditions today with delightful temperatures. Little to no wind expected, and cloud cover will decrease towards the evening, and humidity remains steady as temperatures fluctuate throughout the day. Out in Port Elizabeth, mainly cloudy conditions with a southwesterly breeze, and cloud cover increases towards the evening as humidity decreases, and temperatures will peak midday and become chilly towards the evening for PE. And over here in Cape Town, the mother city, it's a bit rainy today. Cloudy conditions with a morning shower in the area. Cloud cover decreases slightly towards the evening. A northwesterly wind is expected throughout the day. So Cape Town, be prepared for rain. Get those umbrellas out, get those raincoats out, and I wouldn't advise anyone to walk out of their house with a fur coat. I think fur coats don't like the rain very much.
I was going to say, get the water catching buckets out as well.
Oh yeah,
Fill up.
that's a thing.
You know
That's a big thing here. I'm finding.
For the not so rainy days.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Because we don't always have rain.
Yeah, good news that I heard recently that some of the dams are filling up quite nicely because it is raining in the catchment areas as well.
That's good.
So very, very good news for the mother city. But we of course have good news for you as we start off your day with a motivational quote.
And I think someone who is very close to our heart at that, we love Caster Semenya, not just because she is facing some pretty, what I'm sure seem like insurmountable challenges at the moment with the IAAF, and still remaining humble and strong and still flying that South African flag. She's an Olympic gold and silver medalist, an incredible daughter of our soil. And through it all, she remains inspired and grounded herself. And I think she feels that she has a mission to inspire others. And she had this to say: I want to inspire African girls and let them believe in themselves so that they can become the best in the world. If we can all do that, I think we can change the world. I think we can all take a massive leaf out of her book, not just for the strength and fortitude that she's showing right now, but for how she has chosen to live her life despite the incredible global pressures that she's faced. She's still a phenomenal athlete, but moreover, an incredible woman and South African. So Caster, wherever you are right now, we love you, we support you, and thank you so much for spreading that inspirational message. So now we can set sail for the day. A brand new day awaits us with a whole lot of new possibilities, but let's first set the scene and wrap our head around today's news headlines.
Thanks very much, and here are your headlines at the top of the morning. Now, City of Cape Town traffic officials have arrested some 300 taxi drivers in a week-long operation. The errant drivers were arrested for a host of offences, which included driving under the influence and reckless and negligent driving. Meanwhile, the city of Tshwane says it has incurred an estimated 500 million rand loss in costs due to last week's unprotected strike by its employees. A 318 million rand bonus agreement has been reached with the striking workers. On the international front, a drone airstrike by Eastern Libyan forces on the southern Libyan town of Murzak has killed at least 43 people. The attack is the second major airstrike blamed on the Eastern Libyan National Army forces loyal to Khalifa Haftar. Now, India's government has revoked part of the constitution that gives Indian-administered Kashmir special status in an unprecedented move likely to spark unrest. And finally, a Canadian woman, Dee Gallant, was hiking with her dog through the wilderness in Vancouver Island when she spotted a cougar staring at her. She yelled, the cougar stopped moving closer but didn't retreat. She then opened her music app on her phone to look for something really loud to play, and she found Metallica's Don't Tread on Me, and it worked. She had scared the cougar off, and after her incredible story was picked up by news outlets around the world, Gallant received a call from Metallica's lead singer himself, James Hetfield, saying he's glad he could have been of help. And he said, and further on they said, I couldn't believe it was really him calling. That's what she said. But proof was, of course, in the selfie that she received moments later from the rock icon identifying himself. Well, next time you're looking to scare off a predator out in the wilderness, I guess Metallica is on your playlist, and that's good to go. Right now, let's take a look at the headlines rather, in the sporting front.
We kick off our sporting headlines on quite a sad note this morning. South Africa's leading wicket-taker Dale Steyn has announced his retirement from Test cricket, but the fast bowler has confirmed his availability for one-day internationals and 2020 matches. Then, staying with cricket, a superb performance with bat and ball, so Australia turned things around and take a 1-0 lead in the Ashes. That was after beating England by 251 runs in Edgbaston yesterday. And in football, they continue to fly. Banyana beat Madagascar 3-0 to claim a full haul of 9 points and the top spot in Group A. That, of course, in their 2019 COSAFA Women's Championship, currently taking place in Port Elizabeth. We'll elaborate on all of those headlines on the top of the hour. Right now, let's see how the weather's looking.
Thank you very much, G-Man. Let's take a more comprehensive look at your weather this morning. But first, we look at those beautiful sunrise pictures that we have asked you to send. And Anna Peens sent us her one from Mussel Bay, where mainly cloudy conditions can be expected with a light northwesterly wind reaching a maximum of 21 degrees. Also, Paul Barnard sent us his sunrise picture from Durban, where partly sunny conditions can be expected with pleasant temperatures reaching a max of 21 degrees. Sounds like a beautiful day out in Durban. Thank you so much for those pictures. Be sure to send yours to our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3. And now we take a look at those temperatures across the country, starting off in Polokwane with a low of 11, reaching a high of 29 degrees. Mbombela coming through today once again with the highest temperatures in the country. 16 is your low and your maximum is at 35 degrees. Pretoria 12 and 28 if you're out. In Johannesburg 10 and 26. Mahikeng's got plenty of sunshine today. 11 is your low, reaching highs of 30 degrees. Klerksdorp 7 and 27. Kimberley 7 reaching a max of 22. Bloemfontein 2 reaching a max of 22 degrees. Richards Bay, you can expect a couple of showers today. 15 is your low and your high is 23. Pietermaritzburg, high humidity for you today. 8 your low and your high 21. Durban 16 and 22. High humidity today for Mthatha. 2 is your low, reaching that high of 22. Southwesterly winds at 15 kilometers per hour for East London. 11 and 22. Now, Craddock, brace yourselves. You've got the lowest temperatures in the country today. 1 is your minimum and your maximum is 23 degrees. Port Elizabeth 10 and 21. If you're out in George, you've got 9 your low and your high 21 degrees. Sutherland, you can expect some southwesterly winds there traveling at 13 kilometers per hour. 5 is your low and your high is 15. Occasional drizzle for Cape Town 10 and 17. Worcester 8 and 20. And a really cold start to the morning for Springbok. 5 is your low, reaching a high of 22. And lastly, Uppington, your minimum today is 8 degrees. You will peak at temperatures of 24 degrees. That's where we leave it for now. The next report will be in just over half an hour.
Yebo. Listen, that story that we had in the news this morning of the Canadian lady who scared off the cougar.
Did you say which song it was? Like, Enter Sandman, maybe?
But I did say the song. But it got me wondering. So if you were, let's say, hiking somewhere in the Kruger National Park, which why you don't do that,
Yeah.
and you encountered like a beast, a lion or something like that, which South African artist's song would you use to scare that lion off?
Yeah,
Can you think of one right now?
most of like the kind of South African rock, I'm thinking that's like hardcore, like a little bit of aching maybe.
Aching?
Yeah.
Do you think a lion would be scared with like...
But more for you.
I don't know. Let us know.
Oh,
which
that's
South
so
African
funny.
artist's song would you use to scare off a beast? Anyway, on to some exciting news now in the world of entertainment, development in the world of entertainment. We focus on one of the biggest lingerie brands and elite model squads in the world. Of course, Victoria's Secret. Now, they're known for their annual televised fashion extravaganza,
Angels.
which features their models, which are called angels, parading ever more intricate and larger wings and even tinier underwear. And the brand has also, of course, been criticized in the past years for their lack of inclusivity, with their chief marketing officer, Ed Razik, saying in an interview in 2018 that he would never include plus-size or transgender models on the runway. Yikes! So the times, they seem to be continuing to change because the Christmas special, which has been airing now since 2001, has reportedly been axed for 2019 as the company takes time to focus on rebranding. Now, this wave of change is being ushered in by the history-making news that Victoria's Secret has signed their very first transgender angel, model and actress Valentina Sampaio from Brazil. and that is the change that I think the world needs to see. This is what Valentina Sampaio looks like. She's being featured as one of the many models on the Victoria's Secret Pink Back to Campus campaign to be announced. They announced this news by taking to Instagram, and he shared an image of himself onto the social media website saying "backstage click," using the related tags, of course, as well there, as you can see.
Yeah, man, I think a good tipping point in the story, I mean, it's gorgeous, obviously, but would be to see the reaction of the other angels in that space. Like, is this, you know, with all due respect, a gimmick, or are they doing it just purely because of pressure, or is this going to be a change in the way that Victoria's Secret do what they do?
Hopefully the latter.
Do you mess with something that is so iconic, or is it not time to change? The world is changing.
Inclusivity.
Let's bring it up to speed, man.
Yeah, let us know what you think. But I'd love to know which music you'd use to chase away that beast if you were found by one in the Kruger National Park. You still haven't found a song?
No, dude.
No? You know what I'll find for you, though? I'll find a cup of coffee. Maybe that might just help jog your mind a little bit. And by the way, also on our social media, on Facebook, we're asking you...
your choice.
Should I hit up the black jacket? Thank you very much, Sis Princess.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Or the biker jacket. Sis Princess, what do you think? Did you see the look? So I've got a black jacket to go with this. I've got the tie and the pants.
Yes.
So do you think I should do the black jacket to complete the suit, or must I do that tan kind of biker jacket?
Yeah, the 10 kind of.
So you like the you
like
take
the
risks?
10 one, yes.
Okay, all right. But we'll see what you guys say on social media after.
She's
the
a
break.
risk taker.
Yeah, exactly.
Our princess is a risk taker, man.
All right, on that note, we're going to take a very quick break, and we'll continue with your feel-good breakfast show after these.
Only the highest grade Arabica beans. McAfee, great coffee, simple. See you after the break.
Oh, you can make my day.
There's only one in this song. Okay, we can go, guys? Okay. When the
Wait for the next activity. We can Kiara.
What Kiara? Just look at like please.
Do so as in your performance.
As interview.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us. So good to be in your company. And we are also in the company of Marimba Jam in the studio, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. They were originally founded in 2012 and created by Kiara Ramklas to share the joy of playing marimbas with learners who had not had the opportunity to do so. And she's here to tell us a bit more about it. And she's joined also by marketing director Wesley Francis. And we've also got Rachel Suttle, who's the project manager for Marimba Jam. Great to have you all here. You've infused our studio with great sounds. We've all got smiles on our faces, and we really appreciate having you here.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, it's great to be here in Women's Month, celebrating Women's Month. So thanks for having us.
Yes, and that's very relevant because Marimba Jam is a female-driven initiative, right? Tell me a bit more about it, how it all came to life.
So when I was in grade 11 at Wynberg Girls High School, I got sent off on one of those leadership development courses. Came back and they asked us to start a community project. So mine was a simple after-school marimba relationship that we formed with Zamasa Secondary School in Langa. So they came over during the school holidays, and it started as this sharing of skills between high school learners.
Yeah.
And then when I went to university, it started formalizing into a company, and now we have such a thriving organization that does so many different things.
That's amazing.
So it's just grown beyond my wildest imaginations, but that's how the best things grow, I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. Clue us in on some of the things that you've achieved with the organization thus far.
So we employ about 25 university students, and we have our own teacher training course.
Yeah.
So in that sense, we've started to grow people in the company. We can expand the work we do. We work with about 500 school kids on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
We've recorded our first CD. We do a lot of outreach work. Every single holiday, we're doing outreach work. And yeah, we've performed on some of the biggest stages in South Africa, all over Cape Town, and it's just been an amazing journey.
Yeah, you talk about performing on some of the biggest stages in the world, a Guinness World Record kind of stage. Wesley, tell me about the experience last year and what it is that you achieved, the Guinness World Record.
So we got, it was about 241 girls together. And it was an incredible experience, just to see everybody playing marimbas and to show that, like, I mean, women rule the world, don't they?
Absolutely.
You know? So to show that, I know.
Your world is ruled by women.
So yeah, it was incredible to get everybody together to show that, you know, even in Africa, we're breaking world records, you know? Women are breaking world records.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's exciting.
All right, Rachel, let's talk about the Marimba Jam Festival.
Yes.
And what it is that you guys are expecting to do this year, and what can we expect? Yeah.
Wow, so this is the first year that we're putting on an event this big.
Yeah.
So Grand West is going to be hosting us in their brand new exhibition space, Sun Exhibits, and we'll also be using the Sun Parks area.
Excellent.
And basically we filled up the day with various activities, so you can make your own program when you arrive.
Yeah.
And there are going to be panel discussions on topics of gender identity, using your art form to empower and impact your community, mental health, body positivity, and being an empowered female in a male-dominated space.
Excellent. And who do you have coming to speak on these topics? I mean, these are very, very important and relevant issues, so I'm sure that you have some powerhouses behind those topics.
Yeah, we have so many phenomenal women and a few men as well coming to speak. We have... there's so many. I don't know.
So we have Nianiso Tutu Boris. She's also a young female doing great things. We have Sia Bayile. He's an empowered fashion designer. Do you know Sia?
The threaded man himself.
Yes, indeed.
So we've got support from all over. We have the first transgender person who came to our school and is now ready to share his story after going through Wynberg Girls High School. So, you know, we found people who have big names and people who have big stories.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. So how can we get the public involved? You want people to come and attend, to obviously fill up the exhibition hall and to be part of the Marimba Jam Festival?
Yeah, it's the first public festival that we're having. So the first time we're opening our doors to the public, we're saying come, do free marimba workshops, djembe drumming, gumboot dancing, pansula dancing, come learn about African music, experience different traditional indigenous African instruments, come enjoy the marketplace, And it's a family-friendly event. There's a kiddie zone, jumping castles, face painting. There's a bar area.
So like, cancel all the plans for the day.
We go into an evening concert as well. So our kids get to play with Craig Lucas, the Kiffness, Francis Clare Band. And they're doing some versions of their songs, some popular songs as well. So it's going to be amazing.
Tickets are available and can be bought where?
On Quicket.
On Quicket. So get there as soon as possible. The name of the show, the Marimba Jam Festival, as simple as that. You're saying that you've gone about teaching some 500 people to play. Could you teach me something?
Absolutely.
We've got 3 hours of a live show, so I'm sure you can teach me to play 3 notes and put them together. Let's see how we do by the end of the show. But it's a great pleasure to have you here and cannot wait to hear the music.
Cool. Thank you so much.
You can hear that sound. Something's going down this morning. Our gaming guru, Gareth Woods, joins us in the lounge to tread through some very deep waters in today's game review of Sea of Solitude, released on the PS4. Buddy, that looks quite remarkable.
Yeah, it's kind of like pretty.
It's quite beautiful. So, first of all, set the scene for us. What's the narrative here?
Yeah, so, I mean, a little bit of context on the game itself, on its production. It's by a company called Joe May Games, but it's been produced by, or published at least by EA. It's obviously a small little studio, but then published by one of the giants.
The heavy hitter,
and it's part of their whole thing now of like essentially helping smaller studios get some of the limelight, because they're never going to get noticed otherwise. But as a publishing giant, they can push the game further. From a narrative point of view, it's not a fun game. It's a game it's trying to bring to mention like a lot of like mental health issues. So you play this character's kind of persona, and she's created all these monsters, and a lot of them are like depression or self-doubt, or as you go through the story, it seems like her brother was bullied and she didn't really notice because she was too obsessed with her boyfriend or whatever. Her parents get divorced and she's turned them all into monsters. So like that's the mom there, like as this big sort of like spider octopus type thing, whatever. I'm maybe not doing it justice, but it's one of those like as you play through it, you realize that like
into a different space.
And there's the one monster in particular, self-doubt, that swims underneath and kind of like I wasn't paying attention, but will jump at you and kind of grab you.
Does the gameplay itself stand up? What's the gameplay? What is it?
So the gameplay is like a kind of platformer, sort of like story type game. You're playing it, to be honest, for the feels and for the storyline more than anything else. It's not a particularly like interesting platform or whatever. Let's take the gap here. I don't know if I made it fast enough.
Well, it's already, I haven't even played it, and it's got me thinking about what you could do. We're seeing gaming being used in city building, for instance, in dynamic ways. So why should we not be using it in self-examination and psychology and helping us kind of explore the human condition? Because you have to do that anyway. Who is it for then?
Yeah, so it's a little bit, often I say like the themes are adult because, there's violence or gore that like, the themes are adult more because they quite, it's quite vulnerable in that sense. So, talking about stuff like depression and self-doubt, it's maybe a bit heavy for some people. And so like in that sense, there's actually a big warning when you start the thing going, a lot of these themes are quite exposing for a lot of people, and so if you suffer from any of this stuff, it even says like you might want to speak to professional. This is at the end of the day a game. It's not trying to give advice
Yeah, for sure. I quite like the fact that first of all, that the big game releases are backing something like this that is very left field, but also that it's using this as a magical way of kind of getting into that space that can be very dark or heavy,
And I think because you are actually playing the character rather than, with a lot of movies, you're just watching the character, and as much as you identify with them, you're not that character.
You're not them.
The classic gaming trope is like when your character dies, you don't go, oh, they died. Like, I died. You know that you are attached to this character. You're involved in their kind of like survival and well-being in the game.
It's beautiful, man. I think it's something really refreshing. For something that is fairly dark and heavy, it's a new way of looking at the power.
I think I timed that poorly.
Of gaming. Yeah, man. Your timing was perfect in the fact that I was trying to paint this positive picture and then self-doubt once again rears its ugly head. It's The Sea of Solitude, released on PS4. Something really interesting, something that we haven't seen before, which is saying a lot in itself, man. Just back yourself, buddy. Get back up, believe in yourself, and do this.
And so the people have spoken.
The people have spoken.
And have chosen on this Tuesday.
Yeah.
The winning jacket, believe it or not.
Out of the two options.
There was the biker jacket and the suit jacket is the suit jacket.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. You can never go wrong with a classic suit look, and most people don't like to mess with that. They like to keep it as is.
Do you think that's staying safe? That's playing it safe?
I think it's playing it safe. Yeah, where are the risk takers? Where are the people like Princess in the world? We need more people like Princess.
I think the look works though.
I mean, of course it would work, but I really would have been keen to see what that biker jacket would have looked like with the tie and the shirt and the black pants. But look, this looks really good, and you look like money.
I look like
either you look like money, or I was about to say, or like you're like a PI or something like that, or even like
the darker skinned version of Will Smith. Would you say? No?
Aren't you like? Yeah, like slightly darker.
Of course, not slightly, very much darker. Anyway, thank you very much for choosing, guys. I think it looks absolutely great, and I hope you enjoy the look and that it inspires something.
Catch Factor, ready to slay the day. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. After the break, we're chatting some tech news, some inspiring stories as well. Women making waves in the world of tech. It's something you do not want to miss. So we'll see you in a bit.
And my marimba learning experience is going quite well, I'll say that.
Have you started?
Yeah.
Cool, guys, that's a quick setup.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, live right here on SABC3 on this amazing feel-good Tuesday. Tuesday. Now it's time for us to delve into the news of technology. Now, as we've discussed previously many times before, data privacy concerns have come to the forefront in the last several years. Yeah. And to this end, Facebook has decided to rename its Instagram and WhatsApp services.
What?
Citing transparency. Citing transparency as the main reason for this.
Don't spill your coffee there.
I'm almost literally throwing my cup
They're renaming WhatsApp and Instagram.
WhatsApp and Instagram are about to be renamed. Now, these apps will soon become known as Instagram from Facebook and WhatsApp from Facebook. Now, before too long, of course, that's when it's going to be happening, which will be its official names on app stores and within the apps as well. So according to a Facebook spokesperson, they're saying that we want to be clearer about the products and services that are part of Facebook.
Okay.
But for me, that doesn't give me confidence because Facebook are the very people who've been giving our data away willy-nilly. So if anything, they should try and stay away from putting the name Facebook next to anything because we don't want to know anything about Facebook.
I hear you. Please, continue.
So, yeah, basically, analysts believe that, however, that this purely means that Facebook will be more closely integrating the various services. Now, until recently, both Instagram and WhatsApp had its own CEOs, but then they were ousted as the Facebook business model becomes more centralized. Now, Mark Zuckerberg replaced them with Facebook executives. Now, Facebook renaming Instagram and WhatsApp to put its name and stamp on its products, hardly surprising to us, but of course, it does lead to more security questions, which is exactly what I was just saying now. It's like, okay, cool, but do we really trust you you guys?
Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, whenever you are downloading your next favorite app, don't just click agree.
Yeah.
Try and take some time to read what it is that you're agreeing to.
Yeah.
It
All
might take
500
you.
pages.
It might take. That's the thing. They need to make it easy. I think just in general, companies need to make it easier for people to understand what the terms and conditions are, or at least the essential ones that relate to
security,
matters of
privacy.
data privacy that would otherwise make you go, oops, I don't know if I want to use this, and if I do. All good still. But anyway, with that being said, regulators, of course, are starting to breathe down the necks of tech companies. They've started to adjust their practices, these companies, in order to appease the masses, and new regulations targeting data privacy policy. Now, Amazon also want to show their intent of adherence and will allow customers now of Amazon Alexa-enabled devices to opt out of voice recordings, well, at least to an extent.
Okay.
So according to the Seattle-based giant, Amazon Alexa will still need to record voices in order to learn and become better at understanding its customers. However, there will no longer be a human behind the scenes on the other end reviewing your conversations with the AI to confirm that Alexa did do what was expected of it. So most of this new pressure on tech companies comes from the EU. Of course, following massive scandals like the Cambridge Analytica breaches of public confidence as well. So the question is, do you use digital assistants like Alexa? For instance, Siri, Google Assistant, is one that is very much available to us here in South Africa. Let us know on social media if you're concerned about your private data being used by these giant companies and how you are going about protecting your data.
Yourself.
And most importantly, are you reading those terms and conditions? Think about it.
Always got to read the fine print. Well, I'm going to see this print boldly emblazoned in the sky, I have a feeling, because I'm about to introduce you to one of the most incredible women that I've been lucky enough to meet here in the greater digital diaspora of South Africa. I think regarded as one of the top 30 most influential women in South Africa's digital marketing landscape. Co-founder and Chief Product Officer at Useful and Beautiful, Lynette Handemark is blazing her own trail with for over 17 years now with experience in tech, digital marketing and mobile solutions. But most importantly, she makes sure to carry her knowledge and expertise over by supporting young women in tech initiatives and mentoring app students at UWC, which is very exciting to me. So I'm really chuffed to be connecting with you again. I obviously saw you at an event that was very much focused on what we can use the digital world and all of these incredible tools to better each other. But you've chosen not just on a kind of macro level, but on the most powerful, potent individual level to use this to impart your skills. Lynette, first of all, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. It's so cool to see you again. I'm going to ask you to go back to the very beginning because, let's be honest, and maybe this is a stigma that I need to adjust in my own mind, but tech, apps, the digital space is a very male-dominated space.
It is. It's definitely not traditional female. So going back, although I can't go back too much, seeing we've only got like, 5 minutes, 4 now. So I've always had a natural aptitude for mathematical subjects and sciences, and this started at school. And obviously, back in my day, and even now as well, female careers, traditionally, you are directed more in the medical or law or teaching fields.
Or the humanities,
humanities. Having this passion for maths, it was noticed by my teacher, and I didn't even consider it because I was groomed. I was being groomed to be a doctor as well, and it was okay, Lynette. What about a career in tech? And I was like, really? I don't want to be, and I come from the day where, careers, you were either a server guy or you sat there in the corner,
just coding.
It was IT. You were fixing, you were a repair person. I said, I don't want to do that. And he said, Lynette, for an intelligent person, go and do some research. And of course, I'm from pre-Google days, so I did a bit of research, and I said, okay, there's a few fields. I think there were like about 4 or 5. I thought, well, let's explore it, and it was just something that came naturally to me. I found it effortless, absolutely effortless. While other people were struggling with maths and all of that, and so I see my son, grasping with some of the ideas, and I think, are you really my son? Because it was just a subject that
our brains sometimes
there
work a little
was
differently.
No effort at all, and that's how I got into it. And I studied it at university. went through a variety of fields or disciplines in the tech sector, specifically programming. I spent a bit of time overseas in the UK, and then I got into the app space because I've always been a lover of gadgets as well. And when apps came about, you know, the first smartphone came about, it was like love at first sight. So I basically started in the field back when the first iPhone was released.
Wow.
So I was in the UK at the time. So I've grown up with the technology, and I just love it. I love the evolution. I love the way that it's just, you can just do such purposeful things with it. And I think that's what gets me.
No, ultimately, it's changing the way that we kind of see the world, the way that we engage with the world. It's so important for you, I can feel this kind of on a very base level, to impart this kind of inspiration, this knowledge with young women. You've recently held events in Cape Town and Johannesburg,
yes.
Not just for young girls, but to inspire that within an entire generation. What was the motivation there, and how did the events go?
Well, it went extremely well. Again, people thought I was crazy because it was just an idea that I had. So towards the end of last year, just after we met actually, because we were at AfricaCom, I was one of the judges there, and you were a presenter, I think, or the MC. And so just after that, I actually won an award for top female role model in South Africa, which came as a massive surprise, and also was like bittersweet because it also was a week after my mum passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I discovered at that time, so I didn't even attend the award ceremony because it was all, you know, so close, and I didn't expect to win. I didn't even know that I was in the running to win.
It's just such a distant second, yeah.
And I discovered, you know, during that time, you know, like when you take a step back, like my mum was such a good role model to so many people. And when I won this award, so many people reached out to me saying, we've been admiring your career, we've been following you, help us, you know, and where can we find other people like you? Which I found really odd because I've been in this field for so many years and I know there's people like me out there. So I thought, you know what, accolades mean nothing if you can't actually do something positive with it and action it.
Yeah.
So I partnered with Women in Tech South Africa, Sam Perry, the founder. I actually gave her my prize because as part of the prize, you got this like 200,000, no, it was 150,000 Rand new web platform build. So I contributed some of my services to that, which is something I'll go into a bit more because I specialize in user experience and design. So I combined both of that, made it a 200,000 Rand prize, and I said, let's make the platform better. Let's encourage more women in there and let's improve it. So that's how that came about. And then obviously being a minority woman in tech, as you can imagine, I get invited to speak at a lot of conferences, and what's disappointing is I haven't seen the numbers change, although there's a lot of initiatives to get women in tech, and I love it. I love being part of that. There's not a lot to actually keep women in tech. You know, at some point, you know, life changes, you become a mum.
Your focus shifts.
Your focus shifts. And what I find is the older you get, you just find the numbers drop. So I thought, okay, we need to do something about that. And I'm also tired of seeing that in the tech field. There's just one woman, and it's usually me or a few others. You know, I knew they existed out there, and the common excuse is we can't find the women in tech. So Sam and I thought, let's do something about this.
Let's create them.
We're going to create this. We're going to have a really great, I mean, the whole idea was a really great digital and tech conference. The only difference was an all-female lineup. So we introduced the world to 30 amazing doers, both here, Cape Town and Joburg. And we said, if you can't find them, go ahead, look. And it was open to all genders. So it wasn't just a female-only conference. It was just an all-female cast.
I love it. I've been able to, obviously, at that, you know, where we met, was able to get a sense of how much you've been able to do for young women, especially in this space. And hopefully this sends a message to companies as well to invest in the young women, to keep them in that space and to grow them, just like you would anyone else that you're fast-tracking. But you really are a trailblazer, and I have a feeling that you're going to find a few more friends as you go because you're inspiring other people to put their hands up.
Well, that's the whole idea. That's the whole idea. And the messaging from the conference, and I mean, this touches my heart because it's been now 3 weeks since the Joburg one. You know, we didn't expect to run one, let alone two, in two major cities. And everybody has come back to me and they said they found the conference inspirational and educational, which is exactly what we wanted.
You've hit the mark.
Yeah.
Lynette, I'm so glad that you are having this platform first and foremost, but also providing this platform. Well done.
Thank you so much.
An absolute pleasure, and I think an honor honor to be hosting women that are, let's be honest, crushing male-dominated industries. And hopefully this has inspired you. If you're a young woman, especially in tech, doing amazing things, maybe you've designed an app, you're responsible for something that is changing the lives of others, let us know on our social media platforms so we can shout that message from the rooftops. We'll see you on the other side of a very quick break. Enjoy.
Okay, guys, let's do another sound check. Then we check your in-ear levels quickly. No?
Okay,
Of your
so
vocals.
must we do special star? Happy birthday.
Can we do Lucky Star? Lucky Star.
Special
I know
Okay,
that
one
everyone
round.
reminds me of Lucky Star, the fish. Okay, we can go.
From the sky, I will be forever yours. You will be forever mine. There's a special star that shines every evening in your eyes. There's a special star that shines every time I hear that lullaby. There's a special star that shines every evening in your eyes. Special star. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Oh, yeah, beautiful souls. Welcome to it. You are live with Expresso. It's been an empowering, fantastic start to a Tuesday morning. Let's take it to another level entirely by celebrating our birthdays. We actually love this. Uncle Tubbs and I get an opportunity to share some amazing, wonderful, hopefully very special individual moments with you guys at home as you celebrate your birthday today. So let's get through. We've got quite a long
We've
list.
got a ton of
Let's
people
get in.
celebrating their birthdays today. Let's get straight into it. The first one is Garth May. Happy birthday, Garth May. It says here that happy birthday to Garth May. May you continue to grow and be blessed. Lots of things are waiting for you out there. Make sure to get what's yours. We love you, brother. And this is from your family. Happy birthday, Garth. Second one over here saying wishing Dharma Remy Kloppers a very happy 12th birthday today. You have grown so big and becoming a better person every day. Mummy loves you to the moon and back. Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Dharma. Then happy 31st birthday to our niece, Dr. Ashivra Moodley. You make us proud. Keep it up. Enjoy your day. That's from your husband, Yulin, mom and dad, Shoba and Derek, your brother, Trishan, your sister-in-law, Seem. So the whole family is wishing you an incredibly happy birthday. You overachiever, you. And then happy 5th birthday to our granddaughter, Nadia. Happy birthday, gorgeous thing. She is in Melbourne, Australia at the moment. We all miss you here in Mzansi. Lots of love from Gita, Hema, Shoba, Risha, Logiath, and the entire family. They are missing you. Lugnath, my apologies, and the rest of the Maharaj family here in South Africa. Enjoy your day, sweetheart.
Fantastic. Do you want to do the next birthday for us, please? Happy birthday, Alex. Do you want to
Gelukkige verjaarsdag aan Alex Jooste. God se oorvoedige sien jou toegebied vir die nuwe lewensjaar. Lief vir jou, mami, Daddy and Andrea. Liewe Fris, ja, can I get another one of those?
Birthday.
Whoop, whoop,
Happy
please.
birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
happy birthday. Okay, then we've got Dorian Richards. Happy birthday to you, Dorian and Richards. May you have more blessed days filled with love and joy. We love you a lot. This is from your husband, Mason, Caleb, and the whole Peterson and Peregrino families. They absolutely love you. And then Tristan.
I'm not going to help you at all with that one. I'm not going to help you at all, buddy.
August is turning 15 years old today. Happy birthday, Tristan. Do keep your amazing spirit flowing with wherever you go. Take good care of your kind heart and always remember that you are a true inspiration to us. We love you, Tris. This is from Mummy, Daddy, Kian, Tennille, Oma, and Opa. They love you.
Yeah, she looks like a beautiful soul as well. And happy birthday to Joy April. Thank you for sharing your birthday with us in North Riding. May God bless you even more. Lots of love from Mackenzie and Brooklyn. I don't know if those are siblings or mates, but happy birthday, Joy. Then Leandre, happy 27th birthday to Leandre. May you see many more wonderful years. Love, Mummy and Ilana.
Happy birthday. Then we've got, last but not least, Lesedi Mutaung is 13 years old today. Happy birthday to you, Princess. Thank you for being such a remarkable, caring, loving, focused child and passionate about everything. Here's to many, many, many more years. Love you to the moon and back. This is from your mom, Lesedi Mutaung. Happy 13th. Hey, Tata and Mama Winnie, the happy birthday.
Can I just ask a question? Is it Lifio? One word. Is that an actual word? Is that an actual Lifio? Is that an actual Afrikaans word?
I think it's meant to be three separate words. Yeah, but listen.
I love it, man. I'll do it. I'll speak whatever language you want because it's your birthday and we love you. We celebrate you. Thank you so much for sharing those very special messages. An opportunity for you to connect with those special people in your life. Send us, please, a video, guys. We'd love to hear you speak Afrikaans this morning. 071 640 6551 is where you can send those special loving messages to the person in your life.
And if it is your birthday, we've got a little something for you in marimba.
The language of marimba.
A marimba kind of birthday. It's quite nice.
In the language of marimba.
Very, very nice. Thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate that very much. Now, as we enjoy our coffee and Oma rusks this morning, we thought that we'd share how the rest of South Africa loves to savor their dipping time moment with their rusks and coffee. So we've been asking you at home to send us your hashtag dipping time moments, and now is the time to show them off.
Yeah,
let's do that, shall we?
We've got some ultra sweet ones. Well, this first one certainly fits that bill. The Midnight Dipper. This one coming from Yasima Adams, who sent in this adorable photo. It's of her 2-year-old son. I can relate there. She says, he wants the whole box. We are Midnight Dippers for sure. We love our Omar Russ. My little man kept me up at midnight last night and beyond. I could have done with a full box, man. That's very sweet.
Yeah, this next photo, just it's so peaceful and tranquil. You'll see it in a moment. And it's like, we're there. This is Karen Thomas, who sent us this photo with her rusks and tea in front of the city sunrise and says, as I greet the sun, it's time for one or two or maybe more. Well, we definitely do agree with you.
It looks familiar, that corner of the...
Oh, yeah.
Hey, that looks really familiar.
Yeah, let's see.
Then the next one we totally understand and totally feel. Damien Jordan sent us this photo of a stack of rusks and a coffee in front of his computer and says, I'm stuck at work, dipper, crying emoji. Oh, shame.
Hashtag work dipper.
But it says a stack of rusks. Has the stack of rusks gone down significantly since he sent
I think so.
I know, buddy, we can relate, bro. We feel you, man.
All right, so that was the hashtag work dipper. Then a last photo, which probably captures the best place in the world to enjoy a rusk. And this is from Christy Horner, who sent us this beautiful photo. And it says, on the road trip dip type. on the road trip to Pack. Nothing beats a cup of coffee and rusk with a Kruger sunrise. What?
How much do you miss the bush right now, man?
That's awesome. That's really cool.
That's what it's all about. So thank you so much for sending us those really cool pictures. And the joy is that you can continue to send them, but you've got limited time to capitalize on our awesome hamper that we're giving away.
Absolutely. This is your last week to win with Oma Rusks and to stand a chance of winning that 2,000 Rand Swatch Watch voucher and 500 Rand Oma Rusks hampers. Now, all you need to do is go into our Expresso Morning Show SABC3 Facebook page, comment on the competition post by telling us when your favorite dipping time is and why. And you can even share a photo if you'd like to as well. Remember, the T's and C's that apply can be found on our website, expressoshow.com. We're going to take a quick break on that moment while we dip.
Lithio, Captain.
Hashtag Lithio Dipper.
Lithio.
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 Anytime is dipping time.
Hi, my name is Simphiwe Ngema and I play Pindile Shezi on Isidingo. And you could be joining me on Tropica Island of Treasure. Buy Tropica and follow the instructions on the bottle. Take a video of yourself and tell us why you would be my ideal partner. Then upload it on all the social media platforms, your Twitter, your Instagram, and your Facebook using the hashtag TIOT9. Come find your smooth fame and fortune on Tropica Island of Treasure carousel.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it, your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on SABC3. Thank you so much for choosing to wake up on the right side of bed and waking up with us. Now, the thing about this show is that there's so much that goes on. Some of it you see, like what you're doing now on TV.
Layers.
There are many different layers, but some of it you'll never really see unless you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.
What's your
that's
handle?
where it ends up. And my handle is @Tabiso_Makubela. Follow me now. But it actually really goes on Expresso Morning Show, SABC3, and Expresso Show on Twitter and Facebook. So in between all the awesomeness that goes on the screens, this is what happens. So we know that this show takes a lot of energy.
Yes.
And who keeps us going?
It's got to be Sis Princess, to be quite honest. I think she is the glue that binds us all.
Yeah.
And this gives you an indication of just how important she is to us. Take a look at this.
What was going on?
But it's the skiff you get from Leanne that just makes that brings it all to
What
bear.
is going on? Leanne's just standing there like, what
But
on
that's, do you know
earth
how
is
often I see
happening?
Leanne looking at you like that? Just
She
like,
does.
what is Uncle doing right now?
She doesn't know why she loves me as much as she does. Like, she just is always
You
questioning
make
herself.
it difficult, man. You make it
Oh,
difficult.
man.
So we had Muesli in studio, who just like shut it down. She
Yeah,
was
she did.
amazing. But of course, she gave us an opportunity to get up and get busy. And Kat put his own 360-degree camera skills to the test. Take a look at this.
Well, look, he's got some mad skills there.
I want to see what the skills. I want to see what it actually looks like. I don't know if can we see the actual video?
Have we got it?
Let's have a look.
Let's see. Ken ever decides that he doesn't want to be a presenter anymore, that he's got a job guaranteed and secured with Muesli. No, in camera work, just touring with her everywhere she goes, taking
Look,
videos
she was
of her.
also,
That
she
is
was a
impressive.
fantastic kind of model in that case as well. She also gave us a little bit of a taste of her her mad dancing skills as well. Take a little sneak peek at
And
this
we're all
behind the
jamming.
scenes dance patty. Take a look. All that comes to mind is idiots.
Oh, man.
Oh, that is
it
cool.
really
That was a fun
is
day.
in between, not the scenes and the takes that you get to see on screen, that really some of the magic also does happen here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And we really do have a consistent amount of fun on
idiocy
and off screen.
in
And the
between.
idiocy, too. It's always embarrassing. We don't know half the time that we're being followed and filmed. We're just doing our thing and being ourselves in our natural habitat, and that happens. It's insane. But listen, if you have any interesting, funny, fun moments that you can spot
behind
at
the
home, from
scenes
home,
in
behind
your
the scenes
office.
in your own office, in your own home, why don't you share those with us? Because we're always on standby and wanting to see those. Get them through to us on our Facebook, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. Remember always to use that official hashtag, Expresso Show. I need to watch myself now everywhere I am.
Yeah, no,
like,
just
check
be
for cameras.
careful, especially during a performance from Marimba Jams, because they're going to inspire, they're going to get us on our feet. That's on the way after our news headlines.
Well, here are your news headlines at the top of the hour. City of Cape Town traffic officials have arrested some 300 taxi drivers in a week-long operation. The errant drivers were arrested for a host of offences, including drunk driving, reckless and negligent driving, and outstanding warrants. Mayoral Committee member for Safety and Security J.P. Smith says the taxi drivers had close to 1,600 outstanding warrants, totaling some 3 million rand. Smith says the traffic department continues to be overrun by complaints about the behaviour of taxi drivers, and the taxi industry now needs to take responsibility for its actions. Now, the city of Tshwane says it has incurred an estimated 500 million rand loss in costs due to last week's unprotected strike by its employees. City spokesperson Omogolo Taunyane says most of the costs stem from the disruption of services as the city failed to collect most of its revenue. Last week, hundreds of municipal workers affiliated to the trade union SAMWU brought many parts of the Pretoria CBD to a standstill as they demanded an 18% wage increase. A 318 million rand bonus agreement was eventually reached with the striking Tshwane workers. On the international front, a drone airstrike by eastern Libyan forces on the southern Libyan town of Murzak has killed at least 43 people, a local official said yesterday. The attack is the second major airstrike blamed on the eastern Libyan National Army forces loyal to Khalifa Haftar after at least 44 migrants were killed in June when a detention center in the suburb of the capital of Tripoli was hit. Haftar confirmed the strike but denied it had targeted any civilians. Meanwhile, India's government has revoked part of the constitution that gives Indian-administered Kashmir special status in an unprecedented move likely to spark unrest. Article 370 is a sensitive matter because it is what guarantees significant autonomy for the Muslim-majority state. Now, there's been a long-running insurgency on the Indian side. Nuclear powers, India and Pakistan have fought 2 wars and a limited conflict over Kashmir since 1947. Pakistan has condemned the decision and says India is playing a dangerous game which will have serious consequences for regional peace and stability. And finally, with August being Women's Month and Women's Day this Friday, hundreds of UCT students and staff, led by Vice-Chancellor Mamokgethi Phakeng, banded together on Friday to stage a silent protest against gender-based violence, saying that enough is enough. The campaign, which runs until December, carries the message that UCT will not tolerate gender-based violence and rape culture. The sea of purple shirts at the gathering marched in silence around the campus as a siren rang intermittently. Some held placards that read, "We believe you." Others said, "What part of no don't you understand?" Each person's mouth was taped shut to symbolize the silencing effect of gender-based violence. And to that movement we say, more power. Well, those are the headlines at the top of the hour. Right now, let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sport with Graham.
We start with the sad announcement that South Africa's leading wicket taker Dale Steyn has announced his retirement from Test cricket. The fast bowler has confirmed his availability for one-day internationals and T20s. The 36-year-old has battled with a recurring shoulder injury that kept him out of the recent ICC Cricket World Cup in England. Steyn made his national team Test debut back in 2004. He says he's retiring in order to prolong his playing career. And staying with cricket, but a little further afield, a superb performance with the bat and ball saw Australia take a 1-0 lead in the Ashes, turning things around after beating England by 251 runs in Edgbaston yesterday. Australian off-spinner Nathan Lyon, he took 6 wickets, and paceman Pat Cummins picked up 4 wickets as the hosts were bowled out for just 146 in their second innings. This was Australia's first win at Edgbaston in 18 years. Then bringing it back home, Banyana beat Madagascar 3-0 to claim a full haul of 9 points. And, of course, the top spot in Group A, that in their 2019 Gusafa Women's Championship, currently taking place in Port Elizabeth. Desiree Ellis's team scored 23 goals in the group stages, incredible, and remain unbeaten in the competition. So next, South Africa will face neighbour Zimbabwe, where the team will be without regular captain Janine van Wyk, who sadly pulled out injured during Sunday's match against Malawi. That's where we leave our sport for now.
Thank you very much, Graham. Now, just in case you missed it, the price of petrol is set to increase by 11 cents per litre, costing you 15 Rand 92 cents per litre. And diesel is set to decrease by 14 cents per litre, costing you now 14 Rand 33 cents per litre. Now, there's 2 reasons for this: the falling price of oil by tensions in the Middle East and a strong performance of the Rand against the dollar. Take note of that. And now we take a look at your traffic. Starting off in Gauteng, out to North Riding, there has been a multi-vehicle accident on the N1 northbound. That's before William Nicol Drive. One lane is currently obstructed, so please approach that area with caution. And in the Western Cape, in Ikwezi Park on the N2 inbound, there has been, or rather there is a stationary vehicle before the R300 turn-off obstructing the emergency lane. Please keep a lookout for this. And off to the train lines, there is an extended travel time of 15 to 20 minutes. That's on the Simonstown line due to infrastructure problems in various areas, speed restrictions, as well as sets out of service. That's where we leave it for now. The next report will be in just over half an hour.
Don't fear the flu. Boost your immune system with Effaflu-C Immune Booster by Pharmadynamics. Effective, affordable healthcare.
And we shift the focus over to the weather now, but first we take a look at those beautiful sunrise pictures we have asked you to send through. Denise Yates has sent us his sunrise picture from Pinetown out in KZN, where partly sunny conditions can be expected with little to no wind, reaching a maximum of 21 degrees. Etienne van der Watt sent us his sunrise picture from Helderkruin out in Roodepoort, where mainly sunny conditions can be expected with nice and warm temperatures, reaching a maximum of 26 degrees. Enjoy. And now we look at the temperatures across the country, starting off in Bulugwane with a low of 11 today, reaching a high of 29 degrees. Mbombela still with the highest temperatures in the country today. 16 is your low and your high is 35 degrees. Pretoria 12 and 28. If you're out in Johannesburg, it's 10, reaching a high of 26. Plenty of sunshine expected for Mahikeng today, 11 and 30. Klerksdorp 7, reaching a maximum of 27 degrees. Kimberley 7 and 22. If you're out in Bloemfontein, your minimum is 2, reaching maximum of 22 degrees. Richards Bay, expect a couple of showers today. 15 is your low and your high 23 degrees. Pietermaritzburg, high humidity for you 8 and 21. If you're out in Durban, 16 and 22. Mthatha, high humidity for you 2 is your low, reaching a maximum of 22 degrees. Southwesterly winds traveling at 15 kilometers per hour for East London, 11 and 22. Cradock has the lowest temperatures in the country today. 1 is your low, reaching highs of 23 degrees. Port Elizabeth 10 and 21. If you're out in George, 9, reaching a max of 21 degrees. A southwesterly wind traveling at 13 kilometers per hour. That's Sutherland 5 and 15. Occasional drizzle for Cape Town, the mother city, 10 and 17. Worcester has 8 and 20. A cold start to the morning for Springbok, 5, reaching a high of 22. And lastly, Uppington, your low 8, reaching that high of 24 degrees. Remember, you still have time to send us your beautiful sunrise pictures. We do want to see them. Send them to us on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3.
My name is Nadia Jafta. I am a South African influencer / entertainer, and you probably best know me for my videos on YouTube and Instagram, specifically with my mom. I am super excited to go to the island for the vibes, for the sea, for the challenges, and just for the people, and for the money. My flavor, as you can see, is cool red. I am red because that is the color the other contestants are going to see when I take home that money. To join me on the island, all you have to do is buy a Tropica, follow the entry details on the bottle, take a video of yourself telling me why you would be my ideal partner, and upload it onto all social media platforms with the hashtag TIOT9. Here are some of my tips on how you can make your video entry stand out. Use a little bit of humor. Be confidently you. Also, if you are a guy, it doesn't hurt to have a six-pack, just saying. Join me in paradise and come find your smooth fame and fortune.
Oh yeah, it's all smooth. It's all smooth. Keep it smooth. Keep it smooth. Of course, there's nothing smoother than winning when you buy Tropica. Now, of course, there are ample opportunities for you to win with Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao. And all you need to do is simply buy any size of your favorite flavor Tropica in fresh or long life. Then find the unique code behind the bottle or the sticker and follow the entry details on the pack. And you could be winning daily prizes of airtime. There's cash, LG Q60 smartphones, 55-inch LG UHD smart TVs, digital TVs at that. There's steam dishwashers or Caribbean tan hampers. That is more than 100,000 prizes that are up for grabs. Now, for your chance at competing in Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao, all you need to do is record a video audition of yourself describing how you would outsmooth the competition. Then load that video onto Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook with hashtag TIOT9, or you could WhatsApp that video to 063-921-8395. And it could be you winning a share of 1 million rand, plus, of course, smooth fame and fortune while flying with KLM to the Caribbean for this season of Tropica Island of Treasure Curacao. Looking forward to seeing all those entries. Get entering, and good luck.
Start, guys.
Go ahead, take that.
When the sun falls from the sky, I will be forever mine. There's a special star that shines every evening in your eyes. There's a special star that shines each time I hear that lullaby. There's a special star that shines every evening in your
Starting out our morning on a beautiful note with that performance of Special Star. Thank you very, very much. I mean, Graham was saying in the background there, I challenge you to not be happy while you're listening to that. You can't not be. Let us know what you thought about that performance on our social media pages, and of course we'll have more from Marimba Jam coming up. Of course, remember the festival is happening very, very soon. Book your tickets at Quicket. They are available already for a day full of fun for the entire family. And of course, we'll see you after a very short break.
Get an insurance quote and stand a chance to win one of 6 Samsung S10 smartphones. Simply SMS the keyword funeral to 31492 for a callback and quote, and you could be a winner.
Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show on a Tuesday morning, and thank you very much for joining us at the start of a brand new day. Now, our Department of Health continues to be serious about improving the health of women all over the country with health campaigns, free services, and vaccinations such as the human papillomavirus or the HPV vaccinations. Now, HPV is the most common sexually transmitted infection and is responsible for some 99% of cervical cancer cases. For this reason, health officials have been visiting public and special schools in South Africa to administer the HPV vaccines. And here to tell us more about the human papillomavirus and the vaccine, please welcome obstetrician and gynecologist Dr. Ilana Johnson.
Thank you, Katlejo.
Great to have you here.
Thanks.
I was saying earlier on to you while we were speaking just off camera that just that word, human papillomavirus, makes it sound rather nasty. But a lot of times people don't really understand the inner workings of the infection or the virus that we're talking about. So let's first start off by understanding exactly what the human papillomavirus is.
So HPV, or human papillomavirus, is one of the many viruses that we are exposed to as humans. There's actually more than 100 different subtypes, and each different subtype has a propensity to infect different body sites. And the important one, obviously, in my field of work is the subtypes that will cause cancer of the cervix or precancerous lesions of the cervix.
Yeah. So how common is HPV?
It's unfortunately very, very common. It's if you are sexually active, more than 80% of people will be exposed to HPV in their lifetimes. So it's the most common sexually transmitted infection.
Yeah. Let's talk about the kind of problems that can be experienced once there is an HPV infection.
Yeah, so like I said, there's different subtypes. So the commonest ones are sort of the warts, so it's a wart virus, and it causes genital warts. It can also cause like hand warts and other kinds of warts, but for our purposes, it's genital warts. And then more dangerously, the high-risk subtypes can cause cervical cancer.
Yeah. If we were to maybe break it down and understand how exactly it is contracted, how people get HPV, how would you break that down for us?
So basically, you get it by sexual transmission.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it doesn't have to be sort of intercourse. It can just be from skin to skin contact as well. So if somebody has got the virus and then they have intercourse with somebody else or any sort of sexual contact, you can then get the virus.
Yeah. The first signs and symptoms that one would notice, what would those be?
So it's unfortunately, you don't often get signs and symptoms. You'll just get an infection and it sort of sits in your cells. And if your body doesn't clear the infection, then your cells can undergo cancerous and precancerous changes and eventually develop into cancer. The more obvious signs and symptoms of HPV can be just genital warts or any kind of warts in that area.
So the virus itself can lie dormant in your body for quite some time?
It can sit there and sort of be latent and sort of make your cells undergo cancerous change, which is the scary part.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, there's a lot for us to discover and unpack with this topic, and we thank you very much for joining us, especially during this month of August, which is Women's Month, and we explore all kinds of health topics around that. Do send us your questions on our Expresso Morning Show SABC3 Facebook page. There is a post regarding this particular topic. You can send all of your questions there and we will engage with you live as soon as we get back again with the doctor.
Thank you so much. Very important conversation I think that we all need to be having. I know there is a bit of a stigma attached to it and maybe preventing people from educating themselves, certainly educating young people. So we're going to really try to break down that wall if we can. We're going to continue to empower young people right now, empower teenagers and parents. I think when your teenager's eating you out of house and home, and I definitely was that kind of teen. The amount of times my poor mom, I would just hear her in the kitchen going, "Graham!" because I'd finished all the milk or something. Well, the teen years are somewhere between childhood and adulthood, we know, and feeding them can be a little bit confusing during that phase. So if you need some help with your moody, sugar-craving teens at home, stay right where you are. Megan Pensklates is here with the scoop on what to feed them. Not a scoop of anything.
Because I've already finished all of that. But Megan, it's so good to have you here. You are a registered dietitian, so we couldn't think of a better person, I suppose, to speak to give answers to this. We know that everyone needs a healthy breakfast and everyone needs fresh fruit and veggies on a daily basis, but what aspect of nutrition would you highlight for teens?
Well, besides looking at obviously the eating aspect, I think it's very important that we look at drinking. And did you know that the average South African teen has more than one soft drink a day? And over a period of a week, 3 times more the recommended amounts of sugar.
I was going to say, that's bags of sugar.
That's
that is
it.
literally kilograms of sugar.
I'm already feeling sick thinking about it.
And so, look, I must admit, you know, hydration is very important, but we need to make sure that comes in the form of something like water. And hydration is important for concentration. So it's great when you're studying. It's also really important if you're a sports person because it helps to replenish your fluid stores, and that also helps with your performance. So it is really important to ensure an adequate amount of water on a daily basis if you're a teen.
I know we've spoken about that before, about what it does in terms of the brain and how important it is to hydrate before you go to sleep at night, especially.
Yes.
What are those specific nutrients that teens require? Always omega-3s kind of jump into the firm focus for all of us at any stage of life. But what are those nutrients specifically helpful and necessary for that stage of development?
So we need all the vitamins and minerals, but the one that really stands out is particularly iron, if I can just mention. And when we're looking at girls, obviously when it's during the menstrual cycle, there's a lot of iron loss. And if you're looking at the guys, then we definitely look at quite a lot of muscle development, and that's obviously increasing blood volume, which leads to a higher iron requirement. So looking at iron, you're looking firstly at including foods like liver. You're then looking at something like oats, potatoes, something like raisins. And if you are going to choose iron from a plant source, please remember to add in vitamin C-rich foods to increase the absorption, which is quite nice. So add in some fruit, for example, or extra veggies, and it helps to increase actually the iron absorption.
They have a high iron oatmeal, which is amazing to me, because I've never really thought of my oats. You kind of want to leap to your red meats and things like that to get your iron, but you don't think that you can kind of fortify your breakfast in that way. That's amazing to me.
100% with the raisins, which is actually a nice way to go. So you've got your raisins and your oatmeal together, and you immediately increase
my breakfast sorted for today.
So, Megan, the truth is, and I remember myself as a teenager, and because I don't have teenagers now, so I can only reference myself as a teenager. But teenagers are incredibly conscious of their looks and their weight, the way that they look. And so they try and stay away from certain foods. So what nutritional tips do you have for them, especially someone who's just concerned hugely about what they look like, their pimples on their face, or their weight, the size of their thighs, or back? What nutritional tips do you have for that?
Okay, so I'd start by saying, we need to look at something like dietary fat. And if you look at the intake of fat and sugar, if you're not exercising or, following an active lifestyle, those extra calories are eventually going to lead to weight gain. So you need to know that. But in saying that, we do need fat. We need good fats. So the good fats we're looking at is exactly as you mentioned earlier, is the omega-3. And the omega-3 is great for concentration. It's also really important because it's an anti-inflammatory. So when it comes to studying, it's important. It's an anti-inflammatory. It's important for those people that are interested in sport. It also plays an incredibly important role when it comes to mood and even our hormones. So as a teen, that really plays a big role. And so where do we find it? Well, we find it in particularly looking at our canola oil, for example. So if you want to add in something like your canola, your Be Well mayonnaise, that adds in a little bit of omega-3. You also can cook with canola oil. Then you've got your flaxseed. You can add that into smoothies, for example. And then, of course, things like fish, your pilchards and your sardines. You can make fabulous fish cakes. But, adding in your omega-3 is one of the important things we should do on a daily basis. But a variety of foods is really what you need to look at on a daily basis as a teen in particular, and take that into adulthood, because then you're going to ensure a good intake of your nutrients.
I'm so glad you said take it into adulthood, because I was as you were talking, I was thinking you can build a relationship with a particular kind of food or a way of taking in nutrients. First of all, having a basis point, so knowing, okay, I'm going to cook with canola oil and keep that as a basis point. So you're getting your basic intake of your omegas in, but get into a culture of maybe creating smoothies for yourself, or a breakfast bowl or something, and then so that, because honestly, I make the same smoothies that I used to make 20 years ago when I first started playing rugby and training, and I still go to that today because I know if I've got my bananas in there, if I've got my nuts, if I've got my flax seeds, those sorts of things, you can feed your body in that way. So start discovering, take responsibility for your own eating now as a teenager. Don't wait for your parents to take that lead for you. That was
Megan,
thank you.
We're taking notes every day you're here. We're taking notes. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
Well, taking notes and learning a great deal also from Dr. Ilana Johnson, who joins us this morning for our Medical Tuesday chat. And we're focusing on the human papillomavirus, that being the leading cause of about 99% of cervical cancers as found in practice. And with the fact that countries like Australia have implemented nationwide vaccinations since 2007, good to know that we are following in international trends where we've now implemented it since 2014. And would you say that this is showing positive effects in practice and positive results, the fact that we are now vaccinating and we are now rolling out this vaccination in schools, Dr. Johnson?
Yeah, it's really, really encouraging because Australia started, like you said, in 2007, and their data over the past, more than 10 years have shown like good rates in decline of cervical cancer, as well as other HPV diseases such as warts, as well as head and neck cancers as well, and other cancers. So we can see good data coming from those studies and those follow-up programs, which is where we're going to be in a couple of years' time as well, which is excellent.
Yeah. Who would you say should be getting an HPV vaccine?
So at the moment, we're targeting people who are sexually naive, so people who have not yet been sexually active.
Okay.
And the rollout program is for kids between 11 to 12 years old. The study groups were the kids between 9 and 15, I think. And basically it shows that you can get sort of a 2-dose immune war vaccine schedule, which will give you good immunity against the HPV subtypes in that vaccine.
Yeah.
So there's 2 different vaccines. There's Cervarix vaccine, which is against type 16 and 18, which are the most oncogenic or cancer-causing subtypes of HPV. And then you get Gardasil, which is against type 6, 11, 16, and 18, which is against the wart virus, the genital wart virus, as well as the cancer-causing or oncogenic subtypes of HPV.
Yeah.
And we're giving one of those vaccines in the schools.
Okay. So you said 2 doses of vaccines between the ages of about 9
Yeah,
and...
so they give it at 11 to 12-year-old level at school.
And then older than that, then you would require
you give them
a higher dosage.
Yeah, you just give them 3 doses. So usually you give them 1 dose and then 6 months later at 11 to 12 years old. And if you're beyond that age, then you give it 3 times, so 0, 2, and 6 months.
Yeah. Just to kind of also understand the complexities with which you have to work with every single day in practice, you said there are over 100 subtypes.
There are 100 subtypes, but obviously not all of them are important for my practice.
Yes.
But you can get, so when we're testing for HPV, you ask for high-risk HPV subtypes. So there's the very high risk, which is 16 and 18, and that accounts for, if you're looking at cervix cancer, that accounts for about 80 to 90% of cervix cancer. And then you get the other different subtypes, which are quite a few as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How difficult or challenging is it to treat the virus?
So it's not so much about treating the virus, it's about preventing the virus from causing the cancerous changes. So what we do at the moment in patients who have not had vaccinations is we do pap smears, and we can also do HPV tests to see where we are in the development of cancer, and that's what we're doing to prevent cancer.
Yes.
Cervix cancer is unfortunately still the leading cause of cancer-related death in Africa. So it's an extremely important, problem in Africa and in Southern Africa specifically, especially when we're looking at our HIV-positive population. It lives together and it causes a huge problem.
Yeah. Once again, I think laying emphasis on the fact that it's so good that we are now following in international trends, and hopefully with the new term that you taught me earlier on herd immunity, we will get to a place where the virus is completely eradicated, like we've seen in centuries past. So we're going to take a quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, but we will keep engaging with the good Dr. Ilana Johnson after the break. And so please do let us know your questions that you may have on our Expresso Morning Show SABC3 Facebook page. Hit us up with your comments and questions, and we'll link up with you after the break.
Introducing the official judging panel for the highly anticipated new reality series, The Next Brand Ambassador, starting 15th August.
I will be looking for hunger, passion, creativity.
Personality, personality, personality. Being unique is your edge.
It's so much better to win being yourself than trying to be anything else that you're not.
The Next Brand Ambassador starts 15th of August on SABC3. The stage is yours.
welcome back to it. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso. We are still live right here on SABC3 on this beautiful Tuesday. Now, we've put up on social media a poll for you to get involved with Marimba Jam, and we've asked you to choose between two songs, which song you want to hear them perform here on your Feel Good Breakfast
Now, I've
Show.
got to say, you might think I just hang around Princess because she just gives me
But
coffee.
you do.
See, that's true. No, it's completely true. But I already have a coffee and I'm still hanging around her because we just love you, Princess. You are a bright, shining light. But that being said, can we get a little coffee for our guests coming up after the show? Thank you, Joe. What have you made? What's that?
And right now, while Graham is taking and placing all orders, is down for the news.
That's for me.
In your news headlines this morning, City of Cape Town traffic officials have arrested some 300 taxi drivers in a week-long operation. The errand drivers were arrested for a host of offences, including driving under the influence and reckless and negligent driving. Meanwhile, the city of Tshwane says it has incurred an estimated 500 million rand loss in costs due to last week's unprotected strike by its employees. A 318 million rand bonus agreement has been reached with the striking workers. On the international front, a drone airstrike by Eastern Libyan forces on the southern Libyan town of Murzak has killed at least 43 people. The attack is the second major airstrike blamed on the Eastern Libyan National Army forces loyal to Khalifa Haftar. India's government has revoked part of the constitution that gives Indian-administered Kashmir special status in an unprecedented move likely to spark unrest. And finally, a Canadian woman, Dee Gallant, was hiking with her dog through the wilderness in Vancouver Island when she spotted a cougar staring at her. She yelled, and the cougar stopped moving closer but didn't retreat. She then opened her music app on her phone to look for something really loud to play, and she found Metallica's Don't Tread on Me, and it worked. She had scared the cougar off, and after her incredible story was picked up by news outlets around the world, Gallant received a call from Metallica's lead singer himself, James Hetfield, saying he's glad he could have been of some assistance. And I couldn't believe it was really him calling, said Gallant, but the proof was in a selfie that she received moments later from the rock icon identifying himself. Well, I wonder which South African artist's music you would use to scare off a lion if you were to encounter one. Think about that.
So let's kick it off with some rather somber news. South Africa's leading wicket taker Dale Steyn sadly has now announced his retirement from Test cricket, but the fast bowler has confirmed his availability for one-day internationals and T20s, obviously aiming to prolong his career. And staying with cricket, a superb performance with the bat and ball saw Australia turn things around and take a 1-0 lead in the Ashes after beating England by 251 runs in Edgbaston yesterday. And in football, continuing to fly high, Banyana beat Madagascar 3-0 to claim a full haul of all 9 points and the top spot in Group A in their 2019 COSAFA Women's Championship, currently playing out in Port Elizabeth. We'll expand on those headlines one more time on the top of the hour.
Thank you, G-Man. Let's take another look at your roads. But first of all, a petrol price update, rather. Price of petrol is set to increase by 11 cents per litre, costing you 15.92 Rand per litre. And diesel is set to decrease by 14 cents per litre, costing you 14.33 Rand per litre. And now this is due to two factors: the falling price of oil by tensions in the Middle East and a strong performance for the rand against the dollar. Take note of that. And now off to the road, starting off in KwaZulu-Natal out in Durban. There has been an accident on the N2 northbound before Umgeni Road. Delays can be expected from the Spaghetti Junction, so please be patient on the roads this morning. In the Western Cape, in Brackenfell on the N1 inbound, there has been a multi-vehicle accident between Brackenfell Boulevard and Okavango Road, obstructing the left lane, so please approach with caution. Off to the train lines, there is an extended travel time of 15 to 20 minutes. That's on the Cape Flats line due to defective track circuits at Salt River and speed restrictions. That's where we leave it for now. The final update in just over half an hour. I've asked you all morning to send us your sunrise pictures, and Casey Volhunter has sent us her sunrise from Balito, where mainly sunny conditions can be expected with occasional clouds and pleasant temperatures reaching a maximum of 22 degrees. And our regular photographer Gary Okamp sent his sunrise picture from East London today, where partly sunny conditions can be expected with a southwesterly breeze reaching a maximum of 22 degrees. Thank you so much, guys. And now those temperatures across the country, starting off in Polokwane with a low of 11 11, reaching a high of 29 degrees. Mbombela pulling through with the highest temperatures in the country today. 16 degrees is your minimum and your maximum 35 degrees. Pretoria 12 and 28. Johannesburg 10 and 26. Plenty of sunshine expected for Mahikeng 11, reaching a high of 30. Klerksdorp, your low 7, reaching highs of 27 degrees. Kimberley 7 and 22. Bloemfontein 2, your minimum and your maximum 22 degrees. If you're out in Richards Bay, you can expect a couple of showers there. 15 is your low, reaching a high of 23 degrees. High humidity for Pietermaritzburg 8 and 21. If you're out in Durban, 16 and 22 degrees is your high. High humidity for Mthatha today, 2 and 22. If you're in East London, southwesterly wind traveling at 15 kilometers per hour, 11 and 22. Craddock has the lowest temperatures in the country. 1 is your low, reaching a high of 23. Port Elizabeth 10 and 21. If you're out in George, 9 is your low today, reaching that high of 21 degrees. Sutherland, expect that southwesterly wind traveling at 13 kilometers per hour. 5 is your low, reaching a high of 15. Cape Town, the mother city, you can expect occasional drizzle. At 10, your minimum, reaching a high of 17 degrees. Worcester 8 and 20. Springbok has a cold start to the morning today. 5 is your low, reaching that high of 22 degrees. And last but certainly not least, Uppington, you're coming through with a low of 8, reaching a high of 24 degrees. That's where we leave it for now. Remember to send your pictures to Expresso Morning Show SABC3 using that hashtag Expresso Show.
Thanks very much, Uncle Tabsy. Now, with our Department of Health doing all it can to help prevent diseases in our country, it is also our responsibility as citizens to educate ourselves as much as possible. And that's exactly what we've been doing this morning with Dr. Ilana Johnson, speaking about the human papilloma virus, a program that rolled out, the vaccination program that rolled out in 2014 that has seen schools around the country receiving vaccinations and hopefully with the aim of eradicating the virus in years to come. And we've been learning to understand the effects of the virus on the human body, how one contracts it. It's one of the most commonly contracted sexually transmitted viruses and is the 99% cause of most, or 99% cause of cervical cancers. So, so important for us to understand this. With regard to the vaccination, Dr. Johnson, how effective is that HPV vaccination?
So it is extremely effective, as we can see from the data from Australian studies, the follow-up studies of the vaccine program, in preventing cervical cancer and other cancers that HPV causes. And the importance of it is to actually have a good uptake of the vaccine as a primary prevention tool for cervical cancer. So we need to get over 80% people vaccinated before they become sexually active for it to be effective. And then we'll have good results in decreasing our rates, which are extremely, extremely high.
Yeah, but that seems to be one of the challenges that is being faced by medical practitioners when it comes to administering vaccinations, because there's a sense that vaccinations aren't completely safe. And why? Maybe tell me about why that idea or school of thought exists, and then maybe tell me about the safety of the vaccination.
So obviously there's been a huge, outcry about anti-vaxxers, and there's been some studies published which have been later reported to be actually bogus, which created this fear of vaccine. And obviously anything we put into our body can have effects, and side effects can happen. But the commonest side effects of the HPV vaccine is actually just injection site problems, such as pain, bruising, swelling. You can get a little
Nothing more than a bee sting.
No, so it's more important to prevent cancer, which kills, than to have a little bit of vaccine issue at the site of injection, as far as I'm concerned.
And so with regard to that, the vaccine is completely safe?
Well, nothing is completely safe. Not even a Panado is completely safe.
I'm glad you corrected me in that. That's why you're the medical professional. As you said, there are side effects and one can expect, but nothing too extreme.
Nothing too extreme.
So then with that, so we've got the program rolling out in schools, and as you said, 2 doses are being administered to children between the ages of 9 and 14, and older kids then get 3 doses. But if your school isn't necessarily signed up for the program, but you are a parent or somebody who would like to get the vaccine, where is it available?
So you can go to your private practitioner and you can ask them, your GP or your gynae, and ask them to prescribe it for you. Or you can go to any of the private clinics like Dischem Sisters and Click Sisters and ask them for the vaccine. It's quite readily available. Obviously, it comes at a price, so we have to pay for it privately, and it is a little bit expensive at the moment still, but I still feel like it's worth the investment to get that vaccine.
When we're talking about the price of your health and your well-being,
exactly,
they are far.
Yeah, I mean it's just the leading
not too many
cause
things
of
that
death.
outweigh that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break very quickly, but we still do encourage you to head on over to our Expresso Morning Show SABC3 Facebook page, and of course hit us up with your comments and your question regarding our medical topic, which we will continue with Dr. Ilana Johnson after a very short break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it, your Feel Good Breakfast Show, live, large and in charge. Thanks so much for joining us on this Tuesday morning. So good to be in your company. We have Dr. Ilana Johnson on the hot seat right now. We're talking about the human papilloma virus, the vaccination that's been rolled out in South Africa through schools since 2014 and will hopefully aid us in eradicating the virus in years to come. And we've also asked you to share some of your questions and insights with us on social media. So let's take a look at what you said on our Expresso Morning Show SABC3 Facebook page. We had a comment here that came in from let's take this question from Kaylin Magdalene Naidu-Jacobs, who said, if a strain of HPV is non-cancerous, will it still have negative effects on the womb? Great question. Thank you very much for that, Kaylin.
Yeah.
Doctor, what do you say?
So I don't think if it's non-cancerous, it's not going to cause cancer, obviously, but it can cause different cervical changes, and basically we worry about cancer. So if it's non-cancerous, then it won't have an effect on the womb.
Yeah.
But you get the genital warts types that can actually cause warts, which is not nice to have.
Yeah. And if I maybe extend that question further, in terms of the effect on the womb, might it then be a risk for a woman who's trying to fall pregnant in terms of it then being infectious towards the child?
Yes, obviously, if you've got florid warts at the time of childbirth, yes, there is a risk to the child, but it's got to be really a lot to have an effect on your child. But no, not a negative effect on the womb if it's non-cancerous.
All right. Another question that we got here from Portia Kwanane asking, is HPV contagious? Is it curable or only treated?
Yeah, that's a good question. So obviously, like we said, it is the most commonly transmitted sexual, infection. So it is very contagious. And what actually happens with most HPV infections is that most of us will actually fight off the infection and it will go away. So most of us who are exposed to it, it doesn't stay in our bodies, it actually just goes away. It's a transient infection.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, some of it persists and the very high-risk subtypes will then develop cancer. And our job as gynaes and health practitioners is to identify those patients who've got persistent infections, and then we can treat it, but unfortunately it can still be in your body, so you have to keep going for regular checkups and regular surveillance to check that it's not causing more damage again.
Yeah. Until such time where tests might reveal that you are completely free of it.
But it can be sort of cured, but you have to keep watching for it.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. All right, let's have a look at another one here from Siziwe Abigail, who said, my friend was infected with HPV and was injected with benzophine and the warts are no longer there. Is she completely healed or might they appear again?
Yeah, unfortunately, they might reappear again. With the genital warts, they do have a very high risk of recurrence. So we can burn them off, we can treat them with whatever we treat it with, but they can definitely come back, unfortunately.
Once you've undergone treatment, how regularly do you need to go for checkups?
So in terms of cervix, HPV causing cervix changes, you should go at least, take advice from your health practitioner depending on what the type is, but 6 months to yearly follow-up as long as you've been diagnosed with it. Well, the type that's caused the problem.
Yeah, very, very important.
Yeah.
And then just once more, I mean, you and I spoke about it during the break, but if people are looking to reach out to you and ask questions via social media, they can find you on Facebook, right?
Yeah, we're on Facebook. My practice is called Leela. I think it's Leela OBGYN, where you can then find us and we can answer questions for you.
You've been wonderful, Dr. Johnson. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
We thank you at home for all of your engaging questions as well, and we hope that you found the discussion enlightening.
Enlightening indeed. I think today is all about paying attention to our health, as it is a Tuesday. And earlier we spoke about focusing on teenagers' nutrition. Following on from this, our digestive system health, something that is so important for all of us to know more about. Our digestive system is one of the less discussed areas of wellness, which is crazy considering how important it is, because it is ultimately fundamental, a building block of a healthy body. How do you absorb any of the nutrients that you're taking? And if it's not working properly, every element of our body's function is affected by our stomach function. And the slightest imbalance can throw our entire well-being, lifestyle, even our emotional states out of sync. So here to help us understand the importance of our digestive system is Sean Willard from Relief Pharmaceuticals. Sean, welcome to it.
Great, lovely to be here.
I've got a gut feeling that this is going to be quite an interesting one. It is amazing to me that we don't focus enough on our digestive system. We focus so much on all the other peripheral health kind of systems, but we forget about what is literally in our core. So maybe it's good for us to start at the core. What does the digestive system actually do, if you had to oversimplify?
Yeah, Graham, first of all, thanks so much for allowing me to be here. I think let's start with clarifying what is the digestive system, because sometimes it's a bit of an unknown. As you say, it's an inside job, right? So, so if we look at possibly the alimentary canal as one division, one part of it, and then on the other side we've got accessory organs, things like your pancreas, your gallbladder, and your liver. So together they function to both digest and absorb. And when we look at digestion as a whole, it's also divided into two parts, both chemical and mechanical digestion. So as the food comes in, it starts through a mechanical process as well as a chemical process with enzymes, etc. And then once that's been digested, obviously the particles are small enough to be absorbed. So that's when it gets taken into the bloodstream and gets to the cells where it needs to work.
So it doesn't matter how healthy your diet is, if you aren't able to absorb those nutrients, then what is the point? I think so many people are affected by an imbalance in their digestive system in some way. How can an unhealthy or an irregular digestive system exhibit? What are some of the ill effects?
Yeah, so having said digestion and absorption, if we're not digesting, we're not absorbing the nutrients, right? So that's the first thing. But I think we've all been in that situation where we've had that untoward eating meal at night that's left us feeling a little bit worse for wear. Maybe we've had a spicy meal late at night, last thing in the evening, and we are not sleeping during the evening. We're waking up all the time. Potentially maybe that lovely donut, that jam donut, and then that sugar high as well as a sugar crash. So these things can all affect the lifestyle, and I think probably the most important is our bowel habits. Unfortunately, again, it's a subject we don't often speak about.
It's part of daily life.
Absolutely, 100%. So eating incorrectly and not having a digestive system that's functioning optimally can obviously lead to things like abdominal pain, constipation, and various other things.
We'll get into IBS being a massive condition in the second part of our chat this morning, but you speak to anyone who has had a prolonged irregularity or something going wrong with their digestive system and the knock-on effect, and they will tell you it's serious business. Even something like heartburn, something that we laugh off. If you've experienced it at an extreme, it can be really, really hectic. Why is it so important, and how can we focus on the healthy side? We know the negative ill effects, but we often do it as once it's too late, we focus on it. How can we preemptively look after our gut?
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. Again, I say it's an inside job. I think out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah,
and yet, ironically, what's happening out of sight is obviously impacting our mind. Yeah. And what we have found is that there's a gut-brain, almost a bi-directional conduit or highway of information that's taking place between our gut, and our brain, as well as from our brain to our gut. So me sitting here for the first time on television, I might have, you know, butterflies flying, not in formation. I might feel a little nauseous at times. We talk about gut-wrenching experiences. We talk about, you know, the kind of nervousness. Yeah. So it's all connected. And I think taking care of, obviously, our digestion is imperative to our mood, to the way we feel, to the way we optimally function cognitively as well. So both ways, it works.
That's the reason why you get hangry, people. That's the reason why we get hangry. We're going to get into some of the illnesses attached to the gut, in particular IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. I know so many people are suddenly still taking notice now of what we're talking about. But thank you so much, Sean, for joining us this morning. We're going to turn our focus to IBS in just a moment.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
So welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for tuning in. I don't speak lightly about this. As much as we might joke about our digestive system and some of the symptoms attached to some of the imbalances that we might experience, I do know, having experienced things like IBS myself, like a spastic colon, that it is serious business. And if these effects are persistent and negatively affecting your well-being, then it is time to take action. First of all, we want to diagnose and then treat what is going on in your gut. It's a gut feel. You've got to wrap your head around it. Now, we think of digestive disarray. One of the more common culprits, I think, of abdominal pain and discomfort is irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. We hear it all the time. Here to help us identify the symptoms of IBS is Sean Willard from Relief Pharmaceuticals. Sean, thank you so much. I mean, we can throw a pun in with almost every single thing that we say this morning, but I'm glad that we can find the time to joke about this and talk openly about it, because we do tend to overlook gut health, as we've covered in the start of our discussion. Let's talk about IBS specifically. So what is irritable bowel syndrome? What's going on in the gut when that happens?
Yeah, and I think it's very important just to differentiate at this stage between something that's a little bit more sinister, you know, an inflammatory bowel disease, which of course you must always see your doctor about. If you've got any kind of signs or symptoms, what we call red flags out there, please speak to your doctor. Maybe untoward weight loss, unexplained, blood in the stool, fever, those kinds of things need to be diagnosed by a health professional. But having gone past that, I think things like abdominal pain, bloating, and changing in bowel habits, things like constipation, sometimes diarrhea, and sometimes a mixture of the two.
How long do we need to allow these symptoms to persist before we identify them as IBS, say, beyond, I had a spicy meatball last night? When can we move into that space of saying, okay, this is something that's persistent and reoccurring?
It's funny that you go all Italian on me because actually back in the 80s, a couple of specialists got together and physicians in Rome, Italy, and put together what they call the Rome criteria.
Oh, wow.
And with that Rome criteria, they said you need to have experienced these symptoms at least in the last 6 months, and more consistently in the last 3 months, at least once a week for those 3 months. So if people out there are experiencing symptoms just sort of once or twice, maybe it was the bad pizza.
Can we experience these things in isolation, or does it need to be that full spectrum of experiences as laid out in that assessment?
Yeah, so those criteria talk about 2 or more. So usually it's surrounded by the anchor tenant, which is abdominal pain, and then anything related to a bowel movement. So it could be the relief of pain when I have a bowel movement, could be the frequency of my bowel movements, as well as the form and appearance of it. So usually it's a combination rather than an isolation.
Ultimately, you know yourself. You know your daily habits. You know the way that your body works, and you've got to be able to read those signals. So I think what most people are wanting to know is the solution. How do we treat IBS? What are the most effective ways in your experience?
I think always starting with your diet. Looking at your diet is the most important thing. There will be definitely big clues when it comes to certain foodstuffs that you're eating. Managing stress is very, very important. And then obviously looking at a more natural supplement, something of a herbal nature that you can use in order to address it. Something like Artigest IBS that helps to alleviate the symptoms related to IBS as well as dyspepsia.
And I can certainly relate if you are experiencing, so don't play it down. I think that's the most important thing, is if you are experiencing even a bit of discomfort or any of the symptoms that Sean has laid out, do something about it. Look at your diet, look at your stress levels, and look at a way that you can take something that's natural but highly effective to get past it. There's no reason why you should be prolonging that, but if it does persist and if it does exhibit in more extreme ways, go and see your doctor. Sean, champion, buddy.
Excellent, great. Thanks so much.
Do you still have the butterflies? Or they
I can tell you, they're flight information.
Awesome.
Control the symptoms and feel the relief with Artigest IBS. Brought to you by Relief Pharmaceuticals.
Well, the Feel Good here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show isn't stopping. Marimba Jam, they're in the house. Of course, they've done so much work, spreading love and so much goodness across different communities in the Western Cape. But today they're doing it here on your TV, on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Guys, a bit of a teaser of what the people can expect a little bit later on?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Take it away. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's all happening in a bit here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Right now, it's time for the news.
Oh yeah, certainly getting your Tuesday morning started on the right note, but it's just gone 8 o'clock and here are your headlines at the top of the hour. The City of Cape Town traffic officials have arrested some 300 taxi drivers in a week-long operation. The errant drivers were arrested for a host of offences, including driving under the influence and reckless and negligent driving. Meanwhile, the city of Tshwane says it has incurred an estimated 500 million rand loss in costs due to last week's unprotected strike by its employees. A 318 million rand bonus agreement has been reached with the striking workers. On the international front, a drone airstrike by Eastern Libyan forces on the southern Libyan town of Murzak has killed at least 43 people. The attack is the second major airstrike blamed on the Eastern Libyan National Army forces loyal to Khalifa Haftar. India's government has revoked part of the constitution that gives Indian-administered Kashmir special status in an unprecedented move likely to spark unrest. And finally, with August being Women's Month and Women's Day this Friday, hundreds of UCT students and staff, led by Vice-Chancellor Mamokgethi Phakeng, banded together on Friday to stage a silent protest against gender-based violence, saying that enough is enough. The campaign, which runs until December, carries the message that UCT will not tolerate gender-based violence and rape culture. The sea of purple shirts at the gathering marched in silence around the campus as a siren rang intermittently. Some held placards that read, "We believe you." Others said, "What part of no don't you understand?" Each person's mouth was taped shut to symbolize the silencing effect of gender-based violence. And to that movement, we say, more power. Well, that's it for the news headlines this morning. Let's take one last look at what's happening in the world of sport with Graham.
Wrapping up those major headlines this morning, starting with some very sad news. South Africa's leading wicket taker, Dale Steyn, a legend, has announced his retirement from Test cricket at this stage, but the fast bowler has confirmed his availability for one-day internationals and T20 matches, doing this to manage and prolong his career. And staying with cricket, a superb performance with bat and ball, so Australia turned things around and ultimately take a 1-0 lead in the Ashes after beating England by 251 runs in Edgbaston yesterday. And in football, continuing to fly high, Banyana beat Madagascar 3-0 to claim a full haul of all 9 points and the top spot in Group A in their 2019 COSAFA Women's Championship, of course taking place in Port Elizabeth. And next they will face off against Zimbabwe. And that's a wrap of your sport for this morning.
Money. Thank you very much, G-Man. Now, let's take a look at that final update on the price of petrol, which is set to increase by 11 cents per litre, costing you now 15 Rand 92 cents per litre. Now, diesel is set to decrease by 14 cents per litre, costing you 14 Rand 33 cents per litre. Now, there's two reasons for this: the falling price of oil by tensions in the Middle East and a strong performance for the Rand against the dollar. Take note of that. And now we take a look at your roads, starting off in Gauteng in Elandshaven, where there has been an accident, a multi-vehicle accident on the N3 northbound before the Elands interchange. The right lane is currently obstructed, so please approach with caution. In the Western Cape, in Makassar, on the N2 inbound, there has been a multi-vehicle accident before the Engine Falls Bay. Now, all lanes are open, but delays can still be expected, so please do keep a lookout for this. And off to the trains, the T3201/4 and T3203/10 trains have been cancelled. The T3205 will be the first train to Strand Station from Cape Town. Delays of approximately 60 minutes can be expected between Easter River and Strand Station, so please be patient this morning. That's where we leave it for your traffic. And now for that final look at your weather. First, we've asked you to send in your sunrise pictures. Thank you very much to Anna Peens for your sunrise from Mossel Bay, and Paul Barnard for your sunrise picture from Durban, Denise Yates for your sunrise from Pinetown, Etienne van der Vat for your beautiful sunrise picture from Helderkrane in Roodepoort, as well as Casey Hunter for your sunrise picture from Balito. Lastly, our regular photographer Gary Okamp for your beautiful sunrise picture from East London. Stunning pictures. We love them. Continue to get those through to us on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3, using the hashtag Expresso Show. And now we take a look at the temperatures across the country, starting off in Polokwane with a low of 11, reaching a high of 29 degrees. The highest temperatures in the country today, that's Mbombela, 16 and 35. Pretoria, 12 is your low, your high is 28 degrees today. Johannesburg, 10 and 26. If you're out in Mahikeng in the northwest, plenty of sunshine for you today, 11, reaching a high of 30 degrees. Klerksdorp, 7 and 27. Kimberley, 7 is your low, reaching a high of 22 degrees. Bloemfontein, 2 and 22. Richards Bay, you can expect a couple of showers there, 15 your minimum and your maximum 23 degrees. High humidity for Pietermaritzburg today, 8 and 21. If you're in Durban, 16 is your low, reaching highs of 22 degrees. Mthatha, high humidity for you, 2 and 22. Southwesterly winds traveling at 15 kilometers per hour for East London today, 11 and 22 degrees is your high. The lowest temperatures in the country, that's Craddock, 1, reaching a max of 23. Port Elizabeth, 10 and 21. If you're out in George, 9 is your low, reaching highs of 21 degrees. Sutherland, you can expect that southwesterly wind traveling at 13 kilometers per hour, 5 and 15. Occasional drizzle for Cape Town, 10 and 17. If you're in Worcester, 8 is your low today and 20 your high. A really cold start to the morning for Springbok, 5 and 22. And lastly, Uppington, minimum 8 and a maximum of 24 degrees. That's where we leave a look at your weather for today. Send those pictures through bright and early tomorrow morning. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3.
So our musical guests today, the vibrant and female-driven Marimba Jam. They've been absolutely fantastic. Now, for this Tuesday Tunes, we've given you two options. You can either have them perform Ed Sheeran's Shape of You or Ndihamba Nawe. Let us know. You can vote on our social media platforms. But right now, they're about to perform a song, an original piece that will be featured on their forthcoming album. And the proceeds from that album, along with the big festival that's happening on Women's Day called Marimba Jam Festival at Grand West, all of the proceeds there are going to go towards towards their NPO, which is Marimba Jam Cares. But for now, enjoy the original composition, Live Right Now.
Amy, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Marimba Jam on your feel-good breakfast show. Wow, what a vibe. Great song. It's called Live Right Now. It's an original song. It's going to be on their forthcoming album, and I'm sure you can get copies of it pretty soon. But what's important is you need to clear your calendar and book your tickets for the Marimba Jam Festival that's taking place at Grand West on the 9th of August. The day runs from 11 o'clock until 9 o'clock, so you'll have a whole day full of fun for the entire family. Bring them all. Learn how to play marimba, as I've been learning from Kiara, and by giving a progress report, up, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Both thumbs up.
Both thumbs up, okay. We might have a surprise little marimba jam and dam for you at the end of the show. But in the meantime, let us know what you thought about that performance on our Feel Good Breakfast Show's social media pages, of course, #Expresso Show. You can follow these guys as well at marimba_jam.
Yeah.
On that note, let's take a quick break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you, as we always say, thank you so much for tuning in. You are the most important part of this dynamic, and it's been an awesome show. It
Absolutely.
really has
the
been
energy
an
is
incredible
great. It's so good.
It's so good. So let's talk about, I think, one of the hardest things to talk about right now. Money, 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 to help us with the burden of crippling circumstances like debts. I think many people can relate to that. Compulsive spending or a loss of income that the majority of South Africans are facing. Far too many people. Nedbank is using the powerful medium of film with their short film titled Money Secrets. The secret is out to start a conversation around our relationship with money. It's a lifelong relationship, and to inspire a new perspective and a more confident financial future. So many boxes being ticked there. Let's take a quick look at one of the stories from Money Secrets.
They're breaking my back every day to give you everything that you want.
This is not what I want.
I guess I thought I had it all under control.
Listen,
Don't touch me. Fix it.
But it got away from me.
There's nothing we can do.
You're not getting out of this easily.
I'm done.
Tabang, it's Ben. I think I've lost everything. We're bankrupt.
Wow, powerful stuff. Luby bringing the things. Joining us this morning from Nedbank is Group Marketing Executive Head Ntabiseng Macheka. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Does that make you feel the same way? That can you?
Still, and I've seen it a number of times, and it's still quite chilling.
My goodness. So obviously, from a visual perspective, from an emotional perspective, really powerful stuff. But what is the overarching message that you as Nedbank are trying to bring across among South Africans?
Well, as Nedbank, at the heart of it, we really believe that when people can learn how to manage their money well, it can really have a lasting, very positive and catalytic impact on their lives. And we wanted to find the most powerful way to really get South Africans to start talking about money, because it definitely is one of those hardest things to talk about. And for a while now, I think we've been on a call to try to help people see money differently. And what better way? And you saw not just the powerhouse cast, but really the story that really puts a mirror, I think, up for most South Africans to say we're one of the most indebted nations in the world. Whether it's the story of a small business who's trying to look successful rather than concentrate on being successful, or a parent actually who's just trying to really get their kids an education and probably make some wrong turns in terms of the types of investments that they take up. How do we get South Africans to go beyond just understanding the money story from a rational debit and credit space and really get into the space of understanding their relationship about money and some of those unconscious beliefs that we have about money that really limit the kind of money decisions that we make?
I think the first thing to understand is that no matter how dire as that situation in that short film depicts, that there is a way that you can turn things around, but it does start with a very intimate relationship, as you say, and you've taken this to the full extent that you possibly could. You've actually dealt with a psychologist in the space who is going to become the Nedbank Financial Wellness Coach. Can you tell us a bit more about that relationship?
So we've actually partnered with Dr. Tsepiso Matenji, who is a psychologist, and over the last few months she's worked with us to put together what we call money archetypes. And it's really a frame of reference and a framework that really helps people to understand what is it, either in their previous experiences over the course of their lives, that has led them to making certain types of money decisions. So in the framework there are about 8 money archetypes that we go into, and for each of those archetypes we walk you through the steps of what are some of the limitations to be aware of, what are some of the positive money secrets that as Nedbank we can share with you in terms of how you now become a more responsible borrower, a better saver, a better investor, for example.
Now, I understand that the Nedbank Money Secrets film explores 3 of those particular archetypes that you were talking about. Tell us a bit more about them and their relationship and the different relationships that they have with money.
Yeah, so in, for example, Ben's story,
this is the story that we've just seen.
Ben sitting in the car.
Yes.
Ah, Ben, we're there with you, bro. We were right there with you.
And when you watch the full film, you get to be taken through the story of somebody who's just started a small business in the early stages becoming quite successful in terms of his finances, but then starting to invest in cars and buying expensive art and that sort of stuff, and neglecting to manage his cash flow, which is a problem that 82% we saw in the statistics of small businesses in South Africa get to suffer from, to say people haven't been able to manage their cash flows.
Yeah.
In the other two stories, we see the story of Amanda, who is really just trying to live it up. She spends more than she earns, which is one of the key messages that we're trying to get out, is to say 3 out of 5 South Africans actually spend more money than they earn. And she's really just trying to keep up with the Joneses, do as much as possible for other people. And the Graham, yes.
Yeah. Or the Graham.
Yeah.
Or the Graham, yeah.
And ends up really spending a lot more than she should. And in the last story, we have the story of Sizwe and Alina. And Sizwe is really a dad with a child who has done very well in matric, has been accepted at university, and is trying to save as much money to be able to get him through his tertiary education, and make some wrong turns investing in pyramid schemes. And you see how 1 in 3 South Africans, when you consider the online populations, have actually invested in a pyramid scheme and lost money. Wow. So that's just 3 of the stories that we've chosen out of many, many stories in South Africa, to really put up a mirror for people to say, you know, this is where we are. How do we start talking about what really are our unconscious beliefs that lead us to making some of these money
My question is, can
decisions.
we binge watch?
Yeah, can we download a season, and when is it going digital?
Wow.
You can.
What I love, and I actually thought it was, when I first caught a snippet, thought it was a preview for a new series coming out, because the production value is so high.
Yeah,
So you've got the conversation starter. That's set against the landscape of everyone preaching that we need more small businesses, we need entrepreneurs to put their hands up, but we don't often find out about the repercussions of making the bad decisions in that space, or about the tools that are there to help us make the right decisions, recover from moments like that. Where are you as Nedbank stepping in with the tools? What tools do we have in our arsenal, courtesy of Nedbank, to be able to start looking at a different relationship with money?
So we've looked at it in a 2-pronged way. The first way is that on nedbankmoneysecrets.co.za, you can firstly take the quiz to find out what your money archetype is. And Dr. Chapiso and there's a lot more. There's 8 of them. I mean, I'm the carer. And it really just shows you, you know, what are some of the pitfalls to be aware of, what are some of the positive money secrets that we can share with you, and what sort of educational tools we can already give you online on Nedbank Money Secrets for you to really help manage your money better. But secondly, at the back of it, and we specifically didn't go for a 30-second ad with a product plug at the end, because we wanted people to start talking.
Yeah.
But in September, we are reigniting our Greenbacks program to actually help you manage your money well. So for people, whether you're trying to be a responsible borrower, whether you're trying to just practice better management of your money, we actually throughout the process will be helping you and rewarding you and helping you reward society through some of our Nedbank affinities via our Greenbacks program.
Excellent. Well, Nthabiseng, thank you very much for bringing us news of this very, very exciting, very powerful, very necessary conversations that we do need to start having. In fact, you at home can visit nedbankmoneysecrets.co.za to watch the full Money Secrets film, as well as take the financial quiz, where you can explore your emotional relationship with money, which, as we've discovered, also predicts your financial archetype. And that's a very, very important piece of information to have with you in terms of going forward and understanding your relationship with money, because Nedbank is here to help make a positive change with your financial decisions. But it is up to you to take that first step. I need to get some popcorn. Can we do it after the show?
I'll dig it. With the whole series, we've got to binge.
Just like
Well, from Money Secrets to Marimba Secrets, we've got Rachel and Kiara from Marimba Jam. Of course, a lot of the work that they do is really just finding harmony in community by going to different communities across the Western Cape. You guys teach 500 kids now.
Yeah.
Every single day, you guys just obviously spread this goodness and you teach so many people how to play. And I thought there's no ways we're letting you guys get out of this show without giving myself and Kat a bit of a lesson. So what's the first thing one needs to know about marimba?
Well, the first thing you need to know about marimba is that it's not just the instrument, your whole body is your instrument. So you need to feel the music with your bones.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I'm not doing this by myself. Kat's going to be joining us now and getting involved, because he has been going on about wanting to learn.
It's the challenge I've set for myself for today.
From the morning, yeah. Okay, cool. So what are we going to need to do now?
Okay.
Play with your body, okay?
So
Cat on the melody.
yeah, that's the melody marimba. And this marimba is for chords.
Okay.
So you're going to fill out the harmonies underneath and make his melody sound prettier.
Okay, cool. You're going to show me which ones to strike.
Okay,
right?
so the first one you're going to hit is G and C.
G and C. Okay,
yes,
cool.
and you're going to give me a nice pineapple, pineapple.
Okay,
we're doing pineapple, yeah, on G and C.
Are we doing pineapple, pineapple?
You do
What
your
is he
thing.
doing?
Okay.
So you do different things.
Oh,
Okay,
cool.
okay.
All right. Are you ready?
1, 2, 3, 4. Pineapple, pineapple. Nice. Okay, then the next one you're going to do is A and C.
Okay, wait. Give us another counter.
Yeah.
1,
Okay,
2,
so you're going to
3,
do 2 here
4.
and 2 there.
Okay.
And then G and B. G and C. A, C. G, C. G, B.
Tabiso! Wait! You are on the E flat. I am on the F sharp.
Fast. Okay, let's do one more time.
Okay, so there. 2
G, C,
pineapples.
yeah.
1.
Pineapple, 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 pineapple.
Okay, are you ready with your pineapples?
yeah.
Okay? Because I'm bringing the peach.
1, 2, 3, go. Pineapple. It's definitely not as simple and as straightforward and easy as it seems, but
so when people
it's
go to the
doable.
festival,
Yes.
will they be able to learn some of this stuff?
Absolutely. We will be running free marimba workshops
Nice.
every hour on the hour.
Nice.
Cool. It's great fun for the entire family to get involved with it.
It is, and this is fun. I can definitely see myself doing this, which is really fantastic. Okay. You still want to go on?
I'm practicing. We're gonna take a break. We need some more practice time.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Yo, pineapples are messing with my peach. My name is Pesi Khivazi. I'm a TV presenter. You might recognize me from Selimatunzi. To join me on the island to find fame and fortune, all you have to do is go buy yourself a bottle of Tropica and follow all the entry details. Take a video of yourself explaining why you would be my ideal partner. All you have to do is hashtag TIOT9 and upload that on all of your social media platforms. Join me on the island and come find your smooth fame and fortune on Tropica Island of Treasure, Carousel.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Book flights from 499 Rand, only on travelstar.co.za.
Welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on SABC3. So good to be in your company on this Travel Tuesday. Now, we all remember the noughties, a decade where people stopped dreaming about being travel writers and actually got involved. And since then, travelers have gone on to become some of the most creative bloggers by harnessing the trends of social networking. Now, what's more, the ultra-savvy ones are now turning the enthusiasm into an income. And we want to know how this is actually done. So, Travel Start's Lyle Scritton and travel blogger Jared Ruttenberg join us this morning to give us their tips on getting started and how to create epic travel blog content. My kind of stuff. This is the kind of content that I signed up for. But great to have you here, gents. Welcome to the show.
Good to be back.
All right. Jared, talk to me first about what exactly a professional travel blogger is, what they do, and maybe share some of your tips to help others out there get started should they want to be involved in a field like this.
Excellent question. So, Katlek, I suppose the key thing about being a professional travel blogger is someone who's decided they want to take travel writing and do that full-time as their career, and have been able to bridge that gap from hobby to making it a full-time position. And most of those people are people like myself who are either independent or they're freelance, so they're not attached to any publication of sorts. Good question about how to start, tips for starting. I think the biggest thing for myself was identifying who were the people that I looked up into in the industry, who were the pros, and I watched what they did. I saw how they did everything, and in fact I was even so bold to contact about 10 of them and say, hey, I'd love to take you out for coffee. Most of them I didn't get answers from, but 2 or 3 said absolutely, and those people were paramount in terms of me understanding how to go forward. So that was my first thing, is find some of the people to look up to or watch what they do.
It's pretty easy these days, like going onto WordPress.com, and the tools are there for you to get started. All you need to do is do the research, and and off you are. You're just going about your day.
Short of asking you guys to kind of give me a crash course on what would be like an aptitude test questionnaire that tests whether you're fit to be a travel blogger or not, but what should you as a person love about travel that says to you, you are a good fit for this industry and for this profession? What should you as a person love?
Let me go. I think, firstly, anyone can be a travel blogger. It's all about sharing your travel experiences with the rest of the world. So journaling your everyday travel experiences, and I suppose the best place to start is at home as well. Jared can attest to this. And just before moving out into the wide world out there, first hone your craft within your own hometown, within your own country, and then take it abroad if that is where you are headed. So,
I guess somebody who's also very focused on the detail of unpacking a travel experience. You're not all just about staying at the nearest 5-star hotel and having caviar kind of dipped into your mouth.
You got a funny story about...
Tell us.
One of my interesting things was last month checking into a hotel, and I went in for breakfast, and the waitress comes and she says, I know who you are. So I smiled. I was like, oh, that's very nice. She's like, you're Graham from Expresso.
Oh, man.
So I said, thank you for the compliment, but no, madam.
That's how you know you've made it. So when it comes to creating epic travel content, right, because that's what it's all about. You want to entice people to not only be on your blog, but to really take it all in, and hopefully at the end of the day, if you want to be a professional income-driven person, your recommendations would be followed, right? So how do you create that epic content?
I think I just want to add one thing before you go. I'm going to leave it to Jared. Be yourself, be authentic. And that's, I'm just going to leave it there, because there are so many other people that if you want to try and be like the next person, it's never going to cut it. You're going to get lost within the crowd. So my advice is to be yourself and be authentic.
All right. It's excellent advice, because when I started, I mean, as much as it's good to actually look and see what other people are doing, there are a couple of moments where I actually was comparing myself to others and going, oh my gosh, I can't take photos like them, I can't write like them. Until somebody said to me, actually, just take what makes you come alive and do that. And someone else said to me, be yourself, because everybody else has taken. So I realized, let me just take a deep breath and let me just be myself. And so I think exactly what Lyle's saying, to be authentic, but also to find those areas that you're really passionate about, because people can sniff out inauthenticity in a second. And so when someone's doing something that they really love and putting love and energy into it, you can't help but notice it.
Very true. Lyle, who are some of Travel Start's most recommended travel bloggers to follow out?
You know, Kat. Seeing that it's Women's Month, I thought let me share some of the female bloggers. Seeing we're both guys over here, so all three of us. So someone like Di Brown that I really looked up to. She's from the Roaming Giraffe. We've got Dawn Jorgensen from Incidental Tourist, and then we've got people like Natalie Roos from Tales of a Mermaid. So all of these guys, they've been in the industry for quite some time. They've got large followings. They know what they're talking about. So if you ever need travel for travel information from bloggers, those are just a few of my recommendations.
Yeah. What about you, Jared?
Oh gosh, there's so many people.
Yourself, first of all.
Jared in Cape, Jared in CPT.
So many people I look up to. There's a writer from South Africa, Melanie van Zyl. I love her work. Scott Ramsey, David Bristow. I mean, the list goes on and on.
I think there's so much to learn and there's so much to understand as well in using the mechanics of social media effectively, that once you've created that epic content, it's great. But now how do you get it out to your audience, the relevant people? And maybe you can quickly, in about 15 seconds flat, share some of your top tips on using social media effectively.
Social media at its best is little highlights. It's almost the little attention grabbers that say, hey, have a look at this, but then can effectively channel you back to a blog. So it's just saying to people, what are the little attention grabbers that people will look at and go, hi, I want to find out more information about them.
Yeah. What about some of the places to go to when you're looking to create that iconic content?
Yeah, islands are always great. Thailand, Phuket, and then South America. So yeah, South America is not really popular among South Africans, so I would recommend that people start checking out South America. We've got fantastic deals on Travel Start for that. We've even got some vouchers to give away there as well. So head on over to travelstart.co.za.
Excellent. I've been working on my Spanish, so maybe it's about time that I do travel to South America a little bit. Gentlemen. There we go. A bit more Portuguese that side. But thanks very much, gents, for joining us and sharing the information with us.
Pleasure,
just
man.
another amazing way to enjoy hassle-free, budget-friendly getaways with travelstart.co.za. So check them out. As Lyle said, some vouchers available there and some very valuable information for you.
Book flights from 499 Rand, only on travelstart.co.za.
And it's my favorite time of the morning. It's cooking time. It is kitchen time. Now, we know that the winter is deep within us. And if there's anything that we've learned is that the cold weather definitely calls for some comfort food. Yeah. And we've also learned that no one understands comfort food like our guests coupled with Clover. Now, here to show us how to make the perfect evening tucker, Clover Cheesy Aubergine Bake, is Tesh Geleba Mautla. Chef Tesh, always so good to have you here.
Always good to be here.
I heard the word comfort. I was like, okay, and I heard food. And I was like, all right, you got my full attention, and here I am. So what exactly are we making here? What does it take to make the perfect Clover Cheesy Aubergine Bake?
I think it starts with a Clover full cream milk because you want something decadent, you want something very creamy.
Yeah.
So we are going to start with our roux. What we have today is, you can use any pre-prepared pasta sauce, but this one is a white sauce. You can do mushroom. We've put in some cheddar cheese.
Nice.
So we are going to be layering aubergines. We are going to be using tasses just to layer on. So to prepare our jus, we are going to use butter.
You get the butter in there.
It's a Clover butter. So as soon as you have that melting, you toast your flour. So this is a very important step when you're making your roux, your white sauce.
Okay.
So
what's this step? What does it do?
You toast your flour, you sort of cook your flour before you add the milk. And you are quickly going to add some nutmeg, salt and pepper, and then we are going to use our Clover full cream milk just to create that nice creamy sauce.
Well, this is great because we know that fresh milk is better and Clover fresh milk is even way, way better. Now, the key word for this is Clover. SMS Clover to 33728 and we'll send you an SMS with a link to the recipe. Now, the wonderful thing about this Clover fresh milk is that it's got 9 essential nutrients and vitamins, including protein, vitamins A, D, and B12, as well as calcium, which is all the goodness that you want to have coming through in whatever meal you're making. So you're whisking it and mixing it all together then?
Yes, so we're going to leave it to thicken up a little bit. So I'm going to ask you to help me. This is an aubergine. It's a multi-talented...
The multi-talented.
Vegetable. It's actually not a vegetable, it's a fruit. Did you know that?
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Please help me layer.
Okay. So you're just getting those in here.
Yes. What we've done is we've sauced, we've put sauce at the bottom of our pan so that our aubergines don't stick to the pan.
What sauce have you used here?
We've used a tomato-based sauce.
Okay.
So, like I said, you can use any sauce
of your choice.
Any sauce, yes.
Fantastic. So you're just layering that.
Just
over
one layer.
Okay, cool.
So what we are going to do here, this is. Please pass me the tasses.
Okay. Here you go.
This is a clover tasses cheese.
Nice.
Nicely grated. So we are just going to sprinkle it on there.
All around.
So what you are going to do, you are not going to use all your ingredients in one layer.
Okay.
We are going to use our sauce with the clover cheddar cheese.
Nice. That's where the real magic and then the top flavor comes from, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, the key word once again is clover. SMS clover to 33728, and we will gladly send you an SMS with a link to the recipe on how you can make this yourself at home. The nice thing about this sort of meal is that it's really quick to make as well. Because in winter, no one wants to be standing in front of the stove and then walking away and coming back the whole time and getting yourself cold. You want to be making sure that your cozy time is exactly that. Is your cozying up time. And once you start cooking, you're in and out of the kitchen fast.
Definitely. So you've got your oven preheated to about 180 degrees.
Yes.
You are going to layer this, as I said, and top it with the tasses.
Okay.
Then you put it in your oven. You leave it there for about 20-25 minutes or until your cheese browns and melts. So you can imagine what goodness you are going to have in this bake.
What else can I help you with here? I feel like I'm being useless in this kitchen.
Layer.
Are we throwing on another layer of aubergines?
Yes.
Which I've just learned today is actually a fruit.
It is a fruit. It's a berry.
A berry, okay.
Yes. Do you know what the differentiator is between a vegetable and a fruit?
What is the difference?
It's got seeds.
Oh, is that how you tell? Okay, well, Tesh and I finish off here. In case you've missed any of the steps on how to make this, let's show you this.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA, made with love by Clover. Made with love by Clover.
And there you go. That is how you make a Clover cheesy aubergine bake the Clover way, which is way better with the Clover fresh milk. Okay, cool. So what do we do now, Tash?
We top it with more cheese, and then we're going to, more sauce, and then we toss it into our oven. How beautiful does that look?
The product looks like this, which is absolutely beautiful. It's so scrumptious. You really just want to dig in. And nothing screams comfort food better than that cheese nicely baked at the top, which is just fantastic. What we love. We're going to be getting into this and getting a taste of it. Of course, that keyword once again is Clover. SMS Clover to 33728. We will SMS you a link and you'll get how to make all of this. It's that creamy taste that takes you back. Do you want to taste some of this, Tash?
Please. It looks so yum.
Oh, man. Perfect, perfect. Okay, I'm going to taste first. Is it okay?
Yes, please. Do you know what we call that? In Xhosa, we call it taking out the poison of the food.
It could be poison, this is so good. It is so delicious. Tash, we'll get some place, we'll get making for the rest of the team as well. In the meantime, though, Kat, what have you got in there for us?
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA, made with love by Clover.
Well, on Friday night, I can tell you, Friday is going to be Women's Day, and we're going to be seeing 10 mixed discipline fights, all in the name of charity, and these fights are all between fierce ladies. We'll be joined by the opponents for two of these fights, and they're going to be facing off right now, right here, facing off to bring forth the challenge, get the blood boiling and the heart racing. Ladies and gentlemen, first up, we have Ashley van der Hoven versus Brittany Kettle. Let me introduce, in this corner, fighting in her first boxing fight and coming in at 59 kilos, she's known as the Cape Cobra due to her fast strike. She is Ashley van der Hoven! And in the other corner, she's 19 years old and is weighing in at 60 kilos. She's returning to fighting after 6 years of a break from injury with a record of 26 K1 fights and 3 losses. Making her boxing debut is Brittany the Legend Kettle. Ladies face off. As you can imagine, this will be quite an intense moment right now as they weigh each other up. Thank you very much, ladies. Thank you very much. So next up, on the fight night, we have Jess Monemani versus Heike Hesselman. Now weighing in at 54 kilograms, this mom of 2 is a grappler making her MMA debut. Miss Pride Fighting Academy herself. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jess Monemani! She might be smiling now, won't be smiling on fight night. And in the other corner, fighting in her second fight after 1 loss, also weighing in at 54 kilos, and also a mother of 2, she is Dynamite, and she goes by the name Heike Hesselman. As you can see, the 2 different fighting styles coming to the fore, and come fight night, all bets are off. Thank you very much, ladies. Good old sporting handshake there. Now we'll be keeping the fighting spirit going as we find out more about the event and learn some more boxing after the break. Stay tuned.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're live, large and in charge on this Tuesday morning. Now, before the break, we saw the fierce ladies who will be fighting in 2 of the 10 bouts on Friday night in the August Warrior Women Day charity event. Face off, of course, against each other here in the studio in the lead up to the big fight night. And we're now sitting with the organizer and co-owner of Pride Fighting Academy, Jess Monemani, to share with us why the event had to be put together, as well as to be shown some knockout boxing moves, hopefully, which we'll learn in a short while. Ladies, to all of you, thank you very much for joining us, and happy Women's Month.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jess, let's get to talking about why you decided to host this event in honor of Women's Month and what the understanding or the idea behind it is.
So, African Pride Fighting Championship, which is a charity-based fight promotion that I own with my husband, we've been running these for a number of years, and we raise funds for different charities.
Yeah.
And Women's Month was rolling around, and it just came to me where I was like, oh, actually, an all-female fight event hasn't been done in South Africa before, and why not do it for Women's Month, get a whole bunch of ladies fighting on the same card and raise money for a good cause. So it's the first of its kind in South Africa. Naturally quite challenging because the pool of lady fighters is quite small, so trying to get us all on one card and all ready to fight at the same time had its own fair share of challenges. But it's a really exciting event, and everyone that's fighting has their own specific reasons why they've decided to take fights, and everyone's really passionate about raising money for the charities that we're raising money for.
Yeah, and of course I understand that there'll not only be the 10 bouts to be enjoyed by fight fans out there, there's also going to be burlesque entertainment, so a variety to enjoy on the evening as well. But tell me a little bit more about the community of fighters. I want to talk a little bit about especially those reasons as to why the fighters took the fights.
Yes, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but from the little bit of information I know is that because we're raising funds for Rape Crisis and for the same foundation, Rape Crisis in particular, there's not one woman who's fighting who can't say that they've been a victim of either a sexual assault or a discrimination scenario or of some kind of violent encounter. So everyone that's fighting is really wanting to give some kind of voice to women who have not been able to have a voice for themselves.
Yeah. For the fight fans out there that are wanting to come around, support, of course, the foundation, support the cause, but also enjoy good fight action, what kind of styles are we going to be seeing on the night?
So the evening's going to be quite mixed. Like you mentioned, the burlesque dancing. So we'll have a mix of martial arts or different combat sports, so boxing, Muay Thai and MMA.
Oh, wow.
And then along with that, there's going to be performances by burlesque dancers as well. And really what we wanted to do was showcase everything that it is to be a woman, so the essential side as well as the strength. So there'll be dancers performing, you know, in what they see as what it means to be a woman, and then the bunch of fighters are going to be not performing, they're going to be fighting in their fighting
which
styles.
Is a performance in its own.
Correct, yeah. So we really are wanting to showcase everything that it is to be a woman.
Yeah. Ladies, if I may ask you individually to maybe tell me about why you are so excited for the event and why it is that you've decided to take up the particular fight that you're going to be in.
For me, it's always been something that's on my bucket list because I've been training for 5 years under my brother-in-law, who you're going to meet in a second, Sterling Shaw. So I wanted to see like how much of my skill can actually like come to life in a fight. But yeah, obviously the cause, I raised money in my personal capacity for through Back a Buddy for Rape Crisis. I'm hurtling towards, I think, 40,000 Rand at the moment.
Wow.
And I wanted to link it in with a film that because I'm an actress, I was the lead in a film called Cut Out Girls, and that's being released in Ster-Kinekor in spring, October, November.
Excellent.
And I play a boxer in this film, and the film's about date rape. So it's like very much a theme that ties in.
Amazing, amazing.
For me, yeah, it was beautiful.
Ladies.
Well, I decided to be a part of this event because I believe wholeheartedly in teaching women self-defense and teaching them that they can be strong and that there are women out there that will fight for each other, that will back each other up, because I've been through abuse and I've been, you know, through near rape and so forth. And so I'm just all in here just to show women that we've got this and we can be strong and we can take our power back.
Absolutely.
For me, it's a little bit personal, a little bit not. For me to be fighting again after 6 years of the injury that I had, it's strengthening and it's confidence building for me. And I think for anyone just to have that one form of, let's call it an art, that brings you that confidence, everyone needs to have that. And the cause that we're raising funds for, I've had a lot of friends going through high school who've been victims of rape and assault and all that jazz, and for me it's just to stand up for them, to stand up for these girls that I've known all my life. It's just really personal for me.
Those are all extraordinary stories and really empowering stories, and I hope that the many women who are watching the show right now and those who will be attending and those who will know about this through social media really draw strength from what you all are doing. It's really, really extraordinary. And as I said, also for the fight fans to see the skill, and I understand that we're going to be seeing a demo right now. You guys are going to be showing off a little bit of the skills that you've got? Yeah? All right. So let's call the instructor in. He's got his pads, and we've got a pair of gloves somewhere. I believe that we should have a set of gloves. And we're going to be showing you how these ladies get down when it comes to the action. Combos that you might be seeing on the evening. Of course, there's mixed martial arts. arts, there's boxing, there's Muay Thai. I've never seen a Muay Thai fight before, so that should be very, very exciting indeed. What are you going to be showing us, sir?
Just a couple combos that we've been working on. I'm just going to show you that cobra skill of hers. That's why they call it the
Cape Cobra.
So I'm going to show you the zip zap.
Lovely gloves. All right, let's see. Well, the nation's watching. Here we go.
Okay, let's go. 1, 2. Check. 1, 2. Nice. Cape Cobra. Good. Yeah.
Hey.
Jab. Straight. There. 1, 2. Nice. Peri chicken wing. Let's go. There. And there
Taste
we go.
it.
There we go. 1, 2. Straight. Nice. 1, 2. Straight. Yep. Up. Under. Straight. Body there.
Woo!
Nice. 1, 2. And that's
That
how
is
we
some
do it,
impeccable skill. Come on, let's give it up. That is superior skill. If you've ever stepped into a boxing ring or ever tried to do pads, you know how difficult it is to master something like that. Well done, well done. That was fantastic. So make sure that you can get down to Hope Street Hall to support this amazing event on Friday the 9th of August, which is, of course, Women's Day. Then, of course, get on booking yourself a ticket right now. And you can do that by emailing mike@pridefightingacademy.com. So mike@pridefightingacademy.com and be part of the fight night, a fight for a fantastic cause. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show on a Tuesday morning, and you know what it means for our guest performers is that we've given you the choice of 2 songs for you to choose what they should perform. And yes, you have chosen, and so Marimba Jam are going to do you the honor of performing that particular song. But in the meantime, make sure that you book your tickets to support their Marimba Jam festival that's taking place at Grand West, 11 o'clock until 9 o'clock on Women's Day. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. It's all for their NPO called Marimba Jam Cares, and of course the work that they do with extending programs to schools. And if you are a school that is interested in having Marimba Jam, come to your school and have one of their programs to enlighten, to educate, to really empower and uplift the kids. You can reach them at Marimba_Jam. But you've chosen. You know what you've chosen? Hey, mafikizolos ndihamba nawe.
Right, intro. 1, 2, 3.
Expresso Morning Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.